He woke up as a dying old man with literally minutes left to live. But then, he unlocked the ultimate cheat code. His system has a glitch. No matter who he fights, whether it's a demon king, a sect elder, or a true immortal, he instantly becomes exactly one level stronger than them. Now, he's slapping grandmasters, forcing an ancient demon lord to wash his feet, and terrifying the entire cultivation world, all while sipping his milk tea. This is the story of the most broken, overpowered grandpa in history. You don't want to miss this. A boy named Junlin woke up and was amazed to discover that he had transformed into a frail old man. The animals in the eastern region were quite surprised to see a human in such a place. When Junlin saw his reflection in the lake, he was shocked and wondered how this could have happened, considering he had just been dozing off in math class a moment earlier. He complained that he was supposed to be a tall, 185-centimeter guy who hadn't even found a girlfriend yet and was just starting to enjoy his student life. But suddenly, he had turned into an old man. He decided he wouldn't accept this reality. He figured that since he had traveled to another world, this old body must belong to some kind of hidden master. Deciding to search the body's memories, he learned that this world was called Kunlun and was ruled by cultivators. The original owner, Ye Junlin, had been incredibly talented, reaching the golden core stage in his youth. Because of this talent, he had been appointed as the leader of a peak within the Xuantian sect, one of the 6 great sects in the region. However, during a conflict with rival cultivators, he was caught off guard. His energy center was destroyed, and he lost all his strength, becoming an ordinary person. He spent the next few decades in complete apathy, isolating himself on the mountain and ignoring the outside world. It had been 10 years since that day. Junlin realized he was now just a mortal, and judging by his age, it looked like he could pass away at any moment. But then he remembered reading web novels and reasoned that if this was a transfer to another world, there had to be some kind of bonus or special power waiting for him. Taking charge, Junlin called out to the system, claiming his daddy was here and telling it to show up quickly. When he didn't get a response, he asked if it was playing hide and seek. Changing his tactic, he fell to his knees and apologized, saying he was just joking and begged for a sign. He wondered if perhaps it wasn't a system, but maybe a ring with an elder spirit inside. He took off his ring, looked at it, and asked if an old doctor was in there. Receiving no answer again, he lost his patience and shouted for the old man to stop hiding. He threw the ring on the ground, raised his cane to the sky, and started cursing loudly. After his outburst, the system suddenly appeared, stating that rude language had been detected and it had activated automatically. It asked the owner to be more polite. Junlin was relieved it finally showed up, admitting he thought it was unfair and that he was just imagining things. The system apologized, explaining that it had also been fast asleep and had just woken up. To make up for the inconvenience, it offered him a starter kit. When Junlin told it to open the gift, the system congratulated him on gaining a special ability to match strength. Basically, whenever he met an opponent with a higher level than him, he would permanently gain a cultivation level higher than theirs with no side effects. Junlin was worried because he was currently an ordinary person, so he asked what would happen if he encountered an immortal. The system assured him it wasn't lying and that he could safely test it out. Junlin was thrilled, realizing this meant he could be invincible and always one step ahead of everyone. However, when he asked why he needed to cultivate, the system showed a respectful reminder that he only had 1 hour left before his natural end. Shocked, Junlin asked if he was really going to perish that soon. He realized he needed to go down the mountain and find someone to fight in order to gain strength and extend his life. He finally understood why the old man had stayed isolated on the mountain. Suddenly, a timer appeared showing only 35 minutes remaining. Panicking, he asked if he really wouldn't make it. Just then, he looked at the mountain and saw a massive storm approaching, which looked like a swarm of monsters. Inside the dark clouds stood the former sect leader who had been removed from office years ago. The current leader stood before his enemies and asked who dared to challenge the Xuantian sect. An eagle man emerged from a magic shell, mocking the sect and revealing that the demon monster king was still alive and planning to eliminate them all that day. The leader recognized the enemy as a vile creature he had defeated and thrown off a cliff years ago. He was shocked that the creature survived and returned for revenge. The demon king laughed loudly, powering up his energy and asking if that was enough. The leader was horrified to see the enemy had reached the powerful embryonic soul stage. Realizing they couldn't compete with such strength, the leader turned to his people and declared they wouldn't give up without a fight. The demon king mocked them, threatening to finish off all the Taoists. A chaotic battle then broke out between the sect members and the invaders. The monsters were overpowering the warriors. Watching from the ground, Junlin wished someone would just hit him. The system appeared and warned him that only 30 minutes remained. He started worrying because time was running out, and the battle was too far away for anyone to hear him. He tried to climb the stairs, but his old back was failing him. He knew he wouldn't make it down in time. Meanwhile, the demon king shouted that the humans were weaklings and their lives would end today. Releasing his full energy, the king knocked down all the warriors with a single blow. The sect leader realized the gap between the golden core stage and the embryonic soul stage was too massive. The demon king laughed and asked if anyone else dared to resist. Suddenly, Junlin climbed up the mountain and shouted for the demon king to look at him. The king flew over to the old man, asking if he was tired of living. Junlin taunted the bird to attack him, mentioning that he was waiting. He was glad he arrived in time, having used a crystal-powered loudspeaker from the old man's memories to get their attention. The demon king remarked that he had never seen such a bold old man. man. The sect leader and his disciples looked up, wondering if that was their legendary Elder Yi from the peak. They noted he hadn't interfered for decades and had lost his powers. The Demon King asked if Junlin was just looking for a quick end. Junlin called the bird his grandson and threatened to eat him like a quail. The system warned there were only 10 seconds left. Junlin worried that the bird was too talkative and slow, fearing he might pass away without a fight. As the system counted down the final seconds, the Demon King finally attacked, promising to crush the old man to dust. Junlin was actually happy because his wish was being fulfilled. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as the system processed the incoming attack. The system detected an attack at the initial embryonic soul stage. It immediately triggered the special ability, boosting the old man's power to the middle level of the same stage. Junlin evolved instantly. Using a fire technique, he neutralized the bird's attack effortlessly. The onlookers were stunned by the terrifying aura, and Junlin transformed from an old man back into a young warrior. Junlin declared that this was the true power of the embryonic soul. The Demon King was shocked to see Junlin was even stronger than him. The sect members couldn't believe it, realizing that Junlin must have been pretending to be weak all those years while quietly advancing his cultivation to the highest level. It turned out their junior brother was actually the most powerful one among them. The warrior noted that masters at the embryonic soul stage were extremely rare in the wild region, and now one was standing right there. Realizing this, the Demon Monster King immediately changed his tune, treating Junlin with respect. He claimed the whole situation was just a big misunderstanding and suggested they settle their differences later, even offering to pay a friendly visit to the sect. Junlin wasn't buying it. He pointed out that the king had destroyed his sect's foundation and eliminated many disciples, so calling it a misunderstanding was ridiculous. Just then, the system congratulated Junlin on his first victory and rewarded him with a divine technique called the Great Void Finger that binds the heavens. Junlin wondered if this was a legendary technique. He asked the bird if he would believe it was just a misunderstanding if someone wiped out his entire clan. The Demon King retorted that while Junlin was slightly stronger, the gap wasn't massive, implying he wasn't afraid to fight to the finish. Junlin clarified his stance. He didn't bother anyone unless they bothered him first, but since the king had offended him and harmed his people, Junlin intended to defeat him to secure his position. He called the king a monster who couldn't be forgiven. The king argued that humans had forced his hand and declared that he was willing to sacrifice his own spiritual core to ensure he took Junlin down with him. Deciding not to wait, Junlin unleashed his power to finish the battle. He told the bird he had no idea what his limits were and used the Great Void Finger technique. Seeing the massive energy cage forming around him, the king was shocked and realized instantly that he had lost. Desperate to survive, the king started bargaining, offering up anything, even his own tribe, just to live, pleading that he had only recently reached his high cultivation stage. Junlin ignored the pleas and completed the attack. Seeing their leader defeated, the other monsters panicked and tried to flee. However, Junlin wasn't about to let them escape. He released a wave of energy that eliminated the remaining threats, declaring that these birds wouldn't bother the Shuantian sect anymore. The sect leader looked at Junlin, referring to him as junior brother Ye, and admitted they were in his debt. He apologized, confessing he thought Junlin's abilities were gone forever and never expected him to break through to the ancestral soul stage. A female disciple chimed in, saying Junlin didn't look like someone who had given up. Another peak leader agreed, theorizing that Junlin must have been keeping a low profile to protect the sect from the shadows. Junlin thought to himself that they had very active imaginations, but he decided to let them believe that narrative so he wouldn't have to explain the system. Suddenly, warriors rushed in with urgent news. The Fanglay sect had seized their spiritual minds and veins, and many guarding disciples had been injured or defeated. The leader was shocked, noting that while relations were strained, he didn't expect such a blatant attack. Without those resources, their cultivation future was doomed. He declared he would lead a team to take them back. Junlin realized the Fanglay sect had treacherously used the monster invasion as a distraction to strike. The system popped up with a new quest, offering a huge reward if Junlin checked in at the Fanglay sect's domain. Seeing another opportunity to gain strength, Junlin took charge. He announced he would go straight to the Fanglay sect and remove them completely. The leader was surprised but impressed by Junlin's confidence and power. As they prepared, Junlin told the leader that with him at the helm, their sect could become the top power in the region. Meanwhile, at the Fanglay sect, members were celebrating their successful plan to lure the monster to the Shuantian sect while they stole the resources. One disciple worried the monster might turn on them, but another reassured him. They revealed that a powerful guest from the prestigious Yuhua sect was visiting, guaranteeing their safety. The Fanglay leader, Chen Yunhai, asked the guest Elder Mu about his son. Elder Mu confirmed that Chen's son was doing exceptionally well at the Yuhua sect and had been chosen as a personal disciple by a high-ranking lord. Chief Chen was thrilled. Elder Mu then presented a rare pill sent by the sun, which would help Chen reach the embryonic soul stage. The sect celebrated, and Chen thanked Elder Mu for his help in planning the attack and predicting the monster's movements. Their celebration was cut short by a massive explosion. as the defensive formations were shattered. Junlin emerged from the smoke asking if this was the Fanglay sect. Chief Chen demanded to know who dared to intrude. Junlin calmly introduced himself. The warriors were terrified by his overwhelming aura. At that moment, the system confirmed Junlin had reached the check-in spot and rewarded him with the seal of the human ruler and the Great Void technique. Junlin was happy to get another familiar ability. Chief Chen was confused, recognizing Junlin's name as the crippled leader from the rival sect but sensing the power of an embryonic soul. Junlin asked if they were pretending to be clueless about their collusion with the Monster King. He announced that as punishment, the Fanglay sect would end today. Chen realized that if Junlin was here, the Demon King must have been defeated. Panic set in. Chen turned to Elder Mu for help, feeling confident because Mu was at the even higher spirit transformation stage. Elder Mu looked at Junlin with contempt, calling him a puppy and ordering him to kneel and break his own arms if he wanted to keep his life. Junlin refused to back down, asking who the old man thought he was. Elder Mu released his pressure, revealing his spirit transformation power, which terrified the onlookers. Chief Chen laughed, telling Junlin he was out of luck this time. He mocked him, saying that without support, he would be easily crushed, and suggested he beg Elder Mu for mercy. Instead of begging, Junlin decided to show them his true capability. The system detected the higher-level threat and triggered the evolution. Meanwhile, back at the mines, the Xuantian leader defeated the remaining enemies. A captured Fanglay elder laughed, revealing that the Yuhua sect was backing them because of their connection to the sect's heir. The Xuantian leader realized Junlin was walking into a trap against a spirit transformation master. He told his team they had to rush to the Fanglay sect immediately to save Junlin, willing to risk his own life to protect their sect's only hope. Back in the main hall of the Fanglay sect, Junlin started laughing. Chief Chen was confused, thinking the boy should be paralyzed with fear knowing that Elder Mu was at the powerful spirit transformation stage, yet he seemed amused. Elder Mu looked down on him, sneering that Junlin wasn't even worth his time. He compared the Xuantian sect to an anthill and claimed that to the massive Yuhua sect, Junlin was just a speck of dust. He added that since he was already annoyed, he would wipe out Junlin's sect regardless of any apology. Unfazed, Junlin told the elder to cut the talk and make a move. He mocked the concept of spirit transformation and challenged Mu to a fight, saying anyone who ran away was a coward. Elder Mu couldn't handle the disrespect and lunged at him. Chief Chen thought this was the end for the Xuantian sect. However, the system immediately detected a late-stage spirit transformation attack. The passive ability kicked in, instantly boosting Junlin's cultivation to the peak of the spirit transformation stage. Junlin countered the attack easily, asking if that was all the elder had. Mu was stunned to see his attack failed and realized the boy was also at the spirit transformation stage. Chief Chen panicked, wondering how a small sect could hide such a master. Elder Mu was equally baffled, noting that in this remote region, usually an embryonic soul cultivator was enough to found a sect, yet this young man had reached the peak of spirit transformation. Chen frantically asked the elder what to do. Mu told him to stay calm, reminding him that the Yuhua sect's immortal methods were superior to anything locals had. Junlin mocked him with a rude hand gesture. Enraged, Elder Mu declared he would show the power of an earth-level technique and unleashed the palm of the green tree. The onlookers were impressed, realizing that while spirit-level techniques were treasures here, this was on a whole other level. Elder Mu claimed it was an honor to be defeated by him. Junlin just scoffed, shot out a stream of fire energy, and called Mu's move a cheap trick. Using his new human ruler seal, Junlin shattered the elder's attack with a single move. A massive fire spirit appeared, destroying everything in its path. The crowd was terrified, wondering if this power was beyond the divine level. Elder Mu was completely overpowered and began begging for mercy. Junlin reminded him of his rule: if no one bothers him, he bothers no one. But if attacked, he destroys the enemy. Mu tried to threaten him, saying the Yuhua sect would seek revenge if he perished. Unimpressed, Junlin asked why he was still making threats and used a fire arrow to finish the elder off. Seeing his protector gone, Chief Chen fell to his knees, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, and offering to become Junlin's servant. When Junlin refused, Chen desperately mentioned that his son, Chen Shao, was a personal disciple in the Yuhua sect with the potential to become an immortal, implying Junlin shouldn't offend him. Junlin replied that it was perfect. He'd just wait for the son to show up so he could gain more experience points. He reiterated that since the Fanglay sect attacked first, they had to be eliminated. Junlin proceeded to level the entire place. As the fires burned, Chief Chen shouted that his son would avenge this 1,000-fold. Junlin watched the destruction and noticed a box fall from the flames. Looking at the sky, Junlin saw his sect leader and the team arriving. The leader was relieved to see Junlin alive. Junlin mentioned he was just finishing up with the Fanglay sect. The leader grabbed his hand, saying they were lucky to be alive and needed to leave before the Yuhua sect elder spotted them. Junlin casually asked, "You mean that elder? I already finished him." The leader was floored, asking if he really defeated a spirit transformation master. A female disciple named Su chimed in, saying she knew peak leader Yi could handle it. Junlin confirmed he was at the spirit transformation stage, but suggested they skip the chat and start gathering the resources from the defeated sect. The leader was still processing the fact that his junior brother was so powerful. Suddenly, a disciple named Xiao found a rare pill likely brought by the Yuhua elder. Junlin told him to give it to the sect leader so he could break through to the embryonic soul stage, which would strengthen their whole sect. The leader was incredibly grateful for the gift. Suddenly, the system announced that a suitable disciple had been found within a radius of 100 li. It turned out to be the head of a demon cult who was at the true immortal level. The system promised an unimaginable reward if Junlin accepted him as a student. Junlin was thrilled because this wasn't just a new mission, it was a chance to encounter a true immortal. He realized that if he challenged this person, his special ability would allow him to instantly copy that level, making him invincible not just in the wild region, but in the entire realm. Back at the sect, a disciple named Su voiced her concerns. She asked if the Zhuantian sect really stood a chance against the powerful Yuhua sect now that they were enemies. The sect leader admitted that the Yuhua sect was too powerful for them to compete with. He turned to Junlin and urged him to leave the region. He believed Junlin's talent was too incredible to be wasted there. The leader explained that when the enemy came for answers, the rest of the sect would sacrifice themselves to buy time, ensuring Junlin could survive and eventually rebuild their legacy. The other disciples agreed, shouting that Junlin was a natural-born genius and their only hope. They insisted they would stay and hold the line so he could escape and fulfill his destiny. Junlin was surprised by their intense unity and loyalty. He thanked everyone for their support, but assured them that he had a plan. He told them to leave the situation to him because he knew there was no reasoning with the enemy. He instructed the sect leader to handle the cleanup at the current location while he took care of urgent matters. With a wave of his sleeve, he flew off instantly, leaving the leader admiring his swift exit. Meanwhile, a chaotic scene was unfolding in the purple bamboo forest. A group of bandits was chasing someone who looked like a beautiful girl, shouting that she shouldn't run away. The person being chased, however, was actually a young man yelling back that he was a guy. A creepy old man leading the chase ignored him, drooling and insisting that she was too beautiful to be a man and shouldn't try to trick him. It turned out this young man was actually a tiger in a trap. He was the former head of a demonic cult from the central region who had achieved true immortality and led a massive sect with millions of followers. However, after a massive siege by his enemies, he had sacrificed all his power to escape and was now hiding in this remote eastern region, severely weakened. The old pursuer, tired of running, fired several energy swords at him. The young man spun around and blocked them with a scarlet flame shield. However, due to his weakened state, the shield failed and he took some damage. The old man was surprised that someone at the foundation stage could withstand an attack from a late golden core cultivator, wondering if the boy was a genius from a big sect. Deciding it didn't matter, the old man used a needle technique to trap him. The old man grabbed the boy's face, telling him to stop resisting. Fed up, the boy tore open his robe to bare his chest, shouting for the old man to open his eyes and see that he was clearly a man. The old man was shocked, but then creepily decided that the man was fine too. Unable to take the humiliation any longer, the boy snapped. He warned the pervert not to touch him and declared he would rather burn his own spiritual core than be humiliated. He unleashed a massive stream of fire energy, pushing himself to the limit to burn his attacker alive. The old man couldn't dodge in time and was engulfed in the flames. The boy succeeded, but he was badly hurt, and his spiritual pearl was nearly broken. He realized he needed to find a place to recover immediately. He muttered that at least the creep didn't survive. Just then, he sensed another presence. A different old man stepped out of the forest, claiming he was just passing by and had nothing to do with the previous attacker. The boy politely said he hoped they would meet again and tried to leave. However, this new old man was also up to no good. He rushed forward, admitting he was interested in the boy's secrets and how he possessed such power. He tried to grab the boy to search his memories. The boy cursed him, realizing he was too weak to fight back and that this might be the end. Just as the boy fell to the ground in despair, a figure far more powerful than anyone present flew directly over them. The attacking old man immediately looked up, terrified, as he sensed a master at the spirit transformation stage arriving. Junlin stopped to observe the situation. The creepy old man immediately panicked, begging for mercy and offering to give the girl to Junlin if he would just let him go. Junlin didn't bother with the conversation. He simply unleashed a beam of energy, declaring that such worthless people didn't deserve to exist. The old man didn't even have time to react before the beam pierced his heart, ending him instantly. Hong was stunned. First, he had been trapped by a golden core master, and now a spirit transformation expert had appeared. He wondered if his luck had truly run out, and if he was destined to perish there. Junlin mentally asked the system if it was serious about this person being the head of a demon cult and a true immortal. The system confirmed it wasn't joking. It explained that this was indeed Hong Kan, though his power had weakened significantly to the foundation establishment stage. The system activated its Eye of Insight, revealing that Hong possessed the Divine Fire King talent. Junlin looked him over. With his snow-white skin, refined features, and long hair, it was easy to see why anyone would mistake his gender. Hong grew wary of Junlin's intense stare, fearing that this newcomer might have the same creepy intentions as the old man. However, Junlin was just calculating. He knew that with Hong's experience and talent, regaining his former power would be easy. Recruiting him as a disciple was a guaranteed win. Junlin told the boy that he had exceptional bone structure and true talent. He announced that from that day on, he would take him as an apprentice. All Hong had to do was agree. Hong was taken aback. He initially thought Junlin was after his secrets, but now he realized this spirit transformation cultivator actually wanted to be his teacher. Internally, Hong scoffed. He thought his own artifacts and luck were far superior, and in his prime, a guy like Junlin wouldn't even be allowed in his sect's backyard. Junlin asked why he hesitated, noting that Hong didn't look thrilled about the offer. Hong realized he was currently too weak to refuse. He decided to play the long game, survive now, and once he regained his strength, he could turn the situation around. He knelt down and formally greeted his new teacher, claiming it was the greatest honor of his life. It was all just a performance to him. Junlin accepted the bow and told him to rise, giving him the name Xiao Hong. Hong hated the name, but for the sake of his safety, he agreed. Junlin could tell the guy was being hypocritical, but with his invincible system ability, he wasn't worried about betrayal. The system congratulated Junlin on completing the task. As a reward, he received an automatic training function, meaning he could now get stronger just by lying around. The system also granted him a special coffin artifact that would upgrade as he leveled up, capable of burying the heavens and earth. Additionally, the system detected the new disciple's fire talent and offered a free upgrade package, the 3000 fiery flames technique and a fire source pill to restore his foundation. Junlin realized these rewards were game-breaking, designed to challenge the laws of the universe. Hong noticed Junlin smiling and assumed his teacher was just feeling smug about acquiring a talented student. He waited for what he assumed would be a disappointing lesson. Junlin told him that he wouldn't expect him to accept his authority without a gift, so he handed over a technique manual. Hong thanked him, but internally he expected some trashy provincial technique. However, when he read the title 3000 Fiery Flames and looked inside, he was floored. He realized that the technique he had used to achieve immortality in the past was garbage compared to this. This manual completely revolutionized fire magic. It was definitely an immortal, perhaps even saint-level technique. Hong realized that with this book, his strength would grow to incredible heights. Simply returning to his old level of power no longer seemed like enough. Junlin noted that Hong looked pleased. Hong turned around and genuinely thanked him, wondering how a cultivator in this remote region stumbled upon such a treasure. Junlin didn't stop there. He tossed a pill to Hong, saying it would help him master the technique. Hong caught it and was shocked again. It was a fire source pill, a divine item that fire cultivators, even immortals, would fight wars over. He couldn't believe a spirit transformation master had one to give away. Junlin asked if he doubted the gift. Hong quickly replied that he didn't doubt him at all and that being his disciple was a huge honor. Privately, Hong decided that Junlin must not understand the true value of these items and likely found them in some ancient ruin. He knew he had to keep his composure. Junlin found the former demon leader's shifting expressions amusing. He told Hong to take the pill immediately and that he would stand guard. Hong agreed, thanked his mentor, and swallowed the pill. His power levels began to rise instantly. Junlin monitored the progress, initial foundation stage, middle, late, peak, and then breaking right through the golden core. He knew the standard progression, but this guy was a true immortal recovering his power. In just half an hour, he had already reached the embryonic soul stage. It was an incredibly strong start. Hong himself couldn't believe how fast he had broken through, vowing that once he returned to the central region, he would wash away his past shame. When Hong finished, he politely apologized for disturbing his teacher. Junlin brushed it off, saying it was time to return to the sect so he could introduce Hong to the elders. By that evening, the main hall of the Xuantian sect was buzzing with rumors. Everyone was saying the peak leader was unbelievably strong, having destroyed an embryonic soul master with a single finger and saving their land twice. Many disciples regretted not recognizing his power earlier. Now that he had a disciple, they assumed his standards must be sky high. When Junlin arrived, the crowd cheered. However, when they saw the person with him, confusion spread. They mistook Hong for a stunningly beautiful girl, whispering among themselves about where such a beauty came from and why she was so close to the peak leader. Hong looked around with disdain, thinking this clan was far too weak. They wouldn't even qualify as servants in his old sect. The sect leader greeted Junlin and asked who was with him. Junlin introduced Hong as his new disciple and told him to greet the sect leader. The leader was shocked to hear this girl was a disciple. Sue, a female disciple, looked annoyed, clearly jealous that the peak leader had picked such a pretty girl. Unable to take the insults any longer, Hong stepped forward and snapped at her, declaring loudly that he was a man. Junlin didn't appreciate the outburst. He slapped the back of Hong's head, telling him to control himself, noting that Sue was his senior sister and he should apologize immediately. Hong grit his teeth, apologized, and admitted it was his mistake. Internally, however, he told himself to endure it for now. Once he reached the spirit transformation stage, he would get revenge for this humiliation. Junlin announced he was taking Hong to the floating peak. The sect leader said he wouldn't keep them, As they walked away, the leader was still reeling from the fact that Junlin had taken an embryonic soul cultivator as a disciple. It was unheard of. Su remarked that junior brother Ye had brought an overwhelming amount of news to the sect in just a single day. When they arrived at the peak, Junlin opened the door to a humble dwelling, telling Hong he could pick any room he liked. Hong was horrified. He wondered what kind of hole this was, thinking even the servants' quarters in his old life were 100 times more luxurious. Junlin sensed his hesitation and lectured him, saying that only weaklings whine about comfort. He explained that a cultivator should be above such things, and if it was dirty, Hong should clean it himself. Hong promised to be patient. He figured that with his speed of development, he wouldn't be stuck here long. Meanwhile, in the southern region at the Yuhua sect, the atmosphere was tense. In the Hall of Airs, Guiyang crushed a message tablet in his hand. His servant, Chen Shao, the son of the Fanglay sect leader, apologized profusely. He explained that he was the one who asked Elder Mu to deliver the pill to his father. Now that Elder Mu was gone, Chen Shao was terrified that his father and sect were in danger and wanted to go check on them personally. Guiyang asked Chen Shao if he knew why he had been accepted as a disciple. The boy replied it was because of his solar immortal body and potential. Guiyang corrected him, saying that was only part of it. The second reason was his great ambition. He told Chen Shao that his desire for power shouldn't be limited by family ties. With the air competition approaching, Guiyang ordered him to focus solely on training. He needed to defeat the other disciples to secure the sect's full support. This was his only chance. Guiyang refused to let him leave, stating he would send his own people to investigate the eastern region. Chen Shao understood and promised not to let his master down. The next day, on the floating peak, Junlin was relaxing. He asked his student if the food was ready. Hong brought out the meal but judged his teacher silently. He couldn't understand how a spirit transformation master could care so much about food. Yesterday, Junlin was lecturing him about adaptation, and today he was indulging himself. Junlin tasted the food and praised it, noting the meat and beans were delicious, especially with the spices provided by the system. He told Hong to try some. Hong refused, stating he had long ago reached a state where he didn't need to eat. Junlin was surprised and scolded him, saying he shouldn't reject the joys of life just for cultivation. Reluctantly, Hong took a bite just to satisfy his teacher. He expected nothing, but the moment he tasted it, he was overwhelmed. It was incredible, so delicious that he hadn't felt such happiness since he was a child. Junlin asked why he was crying. Hong remembered being hungry as a kid and dreaming of eating meat. He realized that in his pursuit of power, he had forgotten what it was like to simply live and enjoy things. He admitted his mentor was right. Suddenly, Junlin noticed Hong's energy spiking. He watched as Hong broke through the embryonic soul stages, initial, middle, late, peak, and smashed right into the full spirit transformation stage. The guy had leveled up just by eating a meal. His talent was terrifying. Hong opened his eyes, realizing he had broken through without even trying. Junlin congratulated him on reaching spirit transformation, noting his strength was now almost at the level of his mentor. Hong was stunned that he regained his power so quickly. He realized that, since he was now at the same stage as Junlin, it might be time to end this charade of being a disciple. However, before he could make a move, Junlin casually mentioned that since the meal was done and Hong had leveled up, he should come over and massage his shoulders. Hong was seething with rage. In his head, he fumed, "I've already reached the spirit transformation stage, yet he still tries to order me around? Who does he think he is?" He decided that today was the day he would finally show his mentor who was truly in charge. Just as Hong prepared to launch a sneak attack, a servant suddenly rushed in, reporting that there was an urgent message for the peak leader. The servant explained that the sect leader requested Junlin's presence in the assembly hall immediately to discuss a critical matter. Junlin was surprised, noting that he had only been back for a day and there was already a new job for him. Hong was furious that his opportunity for revenge had been interrupted, but he consoled himself by thinking that Junlin was full of weak points. There would be plenty of chances to take him down later. As he flew off, Junlin casually called back to his student, "I have to go for now. Your massage technique is excellent, by the way. When I get back, come over and massage my legs," Hong shouted after him, asking how he dared to treat him like a servant, regretting that he hadn't eliminated him right then and there. When Junlin arrived at the assembly hall, the mood was grim. The elders looked lost, wondering if this crisis was a sign that the heavens wanted to destroy the Zhuantian sect. Junlin landed and greeted the chief, asking what the threat was this time. The leader got straight to the point. Years ago, the state of Wei had come under their sect's protection. Recently, they sent a distress signal reporting strange and horrifying events. People were dying en masse, their bodies found completely drained of blood. These incidents were becoming more frequent and covering vast territories. Some cities with populations of over 1 million had been completely wiped out. The leader assumed it was the work of demons and had sent disciples to investigate. However, none of them had returned. That morning, a new message arrived stating the situation had worsened and was spreading to neighboring states. If this continued, the entire wild region Junlin would fall into chaos. Furthermore, the sect would lose its source of potential disciples, which would fatally weaken them. Junlin asked, "Is it really that serious? Has no one seen who is behind this?" Su replied grimly, "Perhaps anyone who saw the culprit is already dead." She noted that the wild region was already low on powerful cultivators. Even the nascent soul stage was rare, and if this continued, the sect would fall into decline. Junlin wondered what kind of enemy was strong enough to silence all their scouts. Suddenly, the system chimed in with a new quest: find the source of the problem in the state of Wei and eliminate it. Reward: unimaginable. Delighted by the timing, Junlin accepted the mission. He told the sect leader he understood the gravity of the situation. Since the trouble started in Wei, the source must be there, and he would handle it personally. The leader was relieved, praising Junlin for his decisiveness and expressing confidence in him. Before the leader could even finish his sentence, Junlin had already flown off toward the mission. The leader paused, realizing Junlin was already gone. Su was impressed by the peak leader's speed and determination. Another disciple, Xiao, asked worriedly if Junlin could really handle such a mysterious threat. Su shot back, "Do you doubt him? There is nothing in the wild region that can defeat a spirit transformation master." The leader agreed, adding that if Junlin couldn't handle it, the region was truly doomed. He told everyone to continue their training so they could live up to their junior brother's expectations. Junlin immediately grabbed Hong, and the two of them traveled to the eastern border of the Wei state in the wild region. Hong noticed that his mentor went straight for the troubled area, but he kept quiet, secretly plotting to find a way to deal with Junlin later. They arrived at Taohua village, located near a mountain, where Junlin observed that bandits were in the middle of robbing the place. He decided they needed to intervene. The village head pleaded with the bandits, explaining that they were poor and only had livestock like chickens, ducks, cows, and sheep. He told the hero to take whatever he wanted, but begged him to spare the innocent villagers. The leader of the Black Wind Gang laughed, retorting that he didn't want their animals. He said he only needed them, the pathetic little humans. He struck the old man on the head and ordered everyone to obey, promising that if they did, their end would be painless. The other bandits shouted for their own people to step back because their boss was about to use his special technique. The leader unleashed a terrifying energy aimed directly at the villagers. The people were petrified, screaming for someone to save them. Hong was caught off guard. He recognized the technique, realizing it was similar to one used by a dangerous figure from the central region who was supposed to have perished when the Holy Lands destroyed him. Junlin noticed the look on Hong's face and asked if he knew the technique. Hong quickly lied, claiming he didn't know it and just found it strange. Junlin didn't appreciate the attitude, calling him a puppy and scolding him for his tone. Internally, Hong realized that if his guess was right and that specific person was involved, they were in serious trouble. Meanwhile, the villagers were panicking, terrified of losing their lives. Junlin decided to end the chaos. He grabbed the bandit leader from behind and told him to stop. The leader spun around, charging a fist attack and demanding to know who dared to interfere. Junlin easily countered the attack with a beam of fire, telling the man to calm down because they had questions. The bandits' minions were shocked to see their boss hurt. The leader immediately sensed Junlin's aura and realized he was facing a spirit transformation master. Terrified, he instantly begged for mercy. Junlin ordered him to reveal his background. The bandit leader explained that he used to be a palace guard in the Wei state. However, he saw something he shouldn't have and was sentenced to death, forcing him to flee the palace. Junlin asked what he saw and where he learned the dark technique. The bandit replied that he had spotted the crown prince secretly visiting the mountains behind the palace, though he hadn't dared to investigate further. As for the technique, he received it from a mysterious organization while on the run. He didn't know their origins. They simply told him to use the technique to absorb people's life force to increase his strength, and he did it to survive. Junlin suspected a massive organization was pulling the strings and that their actions were linked to the strange phenomena plaguing the region. He asked Hong for his thoughts. Hong secretly worried that the teaching methods were too similar to his old enemy. He wondered why that person would be in the wild region, but lied to his mentor again, saying he didn't know. Privately, he was certain that if that ancient enemy was behind this, Junlin's spirit transformation level wouldn't be enough, and this trip to the Wei state would be his end. Junlin decided to verify the bandit's story personally. He used a technique to enter the man's subconscious and scan his memories. He confirmed the bandit wasn't lying, but noticed he had left out some important details. Junlin declared that they needed to head to the Wei Imperial Palace immediately. Hong decided not to leave any loose ends. With a simple flick of his finger, he unleashed a fire attack that incinerated all the bandits instantly. He turned to his mentor with an innocent look and asked, "Did I do something wrong? Didn't those villains deserve it?" In reality, Hong had been holding back his anger for so long that he just needed to vent it on someone. Junlin replied that he hadn't done anything wrong. He was actually a good man for protecting the innocent. The villagers cheered, shouting that the two immortals who drove out the villains and carried out the will of heaven would be remembered forever. Meanwhile, at the capital, Emperor Wei was in despair. He lamented that in recent years the population had dropped by a third. If the darkness continued, his entire country would be destroyed. He worried whether the masters from the Xuantian sect could actually help them. Suddenly, the princess princess rushed in, announcing that she saw two immortals flying toward the palace. The emperor, realizing help had arrived, gathered his ministers to meet them. Hovering above the city, Junlin asked his student how he liked their dramatic entrance. Hong replied that his teacher was wise and the entrance was impressive. Internally, however, he wished for his mentor's downfall, hoping the dark forces in the region would crush him so he wouldn't have to pretend anymore. The emperor greeted them warmly. Junlin introduced himself as the peak leader from the Swantian sect, assuring them he was there to eliminate the threat. The emperor expressed his deep gratitude and offered to fulfill any wish they might have. Junlin simply asked for a place where he and his student could rest. The emperor immediately led them to their quarters. Unbeknownst to them, a scout was watching from the shadows. The spy scoffed, believing Junlin was just pretending to be powerful. He thought Junlin would make a perfect sacrifice to help his own master finally reach the peak of the spirit transformation stage. Once they were in their room, Hong was annoyed. His mentor had looked so dignified in front of the crowd, but the moment they were alone, he became lazy and careless. Hong wondered how someone with such an attitude ever reached the spirit transformation stage. He figured that at this rate, he would soon surpass Junlin and could easily get rid of him. Junlin, however, was well aware that his student was plotting something. He knew Hong's arrogance would eventually backfire. Deciding to tease him, Junlin told Hong that if he wanted to learn his special training methods, he should bring a basin of water and wash his feet. If the massage was good, he might teach him a thing or two. Hong was furious. He couldn't believe this backwater master was trying to lecture him on cultivation and treat him like a servant. In his past life, even immortals begged to learn from him. He was practically the ancestor of fire cultivation. Junlin pressed him, asking if he was too proud or if he wanted to continue relying on his elders to get stronger. Hong fumed silently. He was the great leader of the fire cult. Washing feet was beneath him. He decided it was time to end this farce. Just as the tension peaked, a knock came at the door. A voice announced that they had important information regarding the strange phenomena in the kingdom. Junlin asked who it was. The young man replied that he was the crown prince of the Wei state, Zhao Hen. He said the fate of the country was at stake and begged them to listen. Junlin told him to come in. Seeing the prince, Junlin realized this was the same person the bandit had mentioned, the one allegedly visiting the mountains and involved with the dark organization. However, looking at the boy, Junlin noted that he didn't seem like the villain the stories made him out to be. Prince Hen confided in the immortals, claiming he had a secret he hadn't shared with his father. He suspected that the source of the evil plaguing the state was connected to the mountains behind the palace. He explained that he had recently seen flying creatures entering a cave at night, which coincided with the disappearance of several courtmaids and servants. He flattered them, saying he knew only they could save the people, and asked them to eliminate the creatures. Junlin scanned the mountains with his senses, but felt no threat. He realized the prince was either lying or had a defense system strong enough to mask the danger. Regardless, Junlin agreed to see the cave, curious to find out what the prince was actually planning. Prince Hen thanked them and led the way, claiming that with their help, they would rid the state of evil. As they walked, the prince secretly looked forward to Junlin's end. However, they were spotted by the princess. She recognized her older brother and knew he usually behaved poorly despite their father's warnings. Seeing him secretly meeting with the masters from the Swantian sect worried her, and she decided she needed to inform her father immediately. When they arrived at the mountains, Junlin remarked that the place didn't look like a lair for flying monsters. The prince suddenly dropped the act and announced that they had arrived. Junlin was pleased, saying they would finally see what was being hidden. The prince sneered, admitting he didn't expect to deceive them so easily. He mocked Junlin for being overconfident and led astray, telling him that he didn't understand that there was always someone stronger. The prince declared that this place would be their grave and shouted for his allies to act. Elders emerged from the shadows and immediately activated a powerful sealing formation. A cult elder stepped forward, acknowledging Junlin's recent fame for defeating a demon king. However, he boasted that inside this specific formation, even a spirit transformation master would be unable to escape. The prince ordered them to capture the leader alive because their master needed him. However, he pointed at Hong, mistaking him for a girl in red, and told them to strip away her powers so he could have some fun with her. Hong immediately snapped. He asked what the prince just said, furious that boundaries had been crossed. Without hesitation, Hong unleashed his fire powers and attacked. The prince was shocked when Hong shattered the formation with a single blow. The cult elder realized in horror that the peak leader had brought a disciple who was also at the spirit transformation stage and possessed immortal-level techniques. Otherwise, the array never would have broken. Frustrated that his plan failed, the prince tried to negotiate. He suggested that with their combined strength, they should join his master to secure a bright future. Hong was furious and asked how he dared to speak like that. He declared that he would make the prince suffer for his insults. Hong immediately attacked the prince who had set them up, deciding to use his fire abilities to ensure he wouldn't bother them anymore. The prince was helpless against the intense flames. Junlin watched the scene and noted that the prince had clearly struck a nerve. However, he ordered Hong to stop before finishing the job, explaining that he needed to ask a few questions first. Hong obeyed the order and extinguished the fire with a simple snap of his fingers. Junlin asked the prince who his master was and how he had forced him into servitude. The prince replied that his master was the greatest immortal of the central region, a being with no equal and insisted that they submit immediately. He warned that once his master appeared, they wouldn't even have time to beg for mercy. Junlin laughed at the idea of submitting. He challenged the hidden master to show himself, warning that he would start taking out the prince's men one by one until he appeared. Using an energy beam, Junlin instantly defeated one of the henchmen. The cult elder was shocked, realizing that this man was also at the spirit transformation stage. He couldn't believe a sect from the wild region possessed two such powerful masters. Junlin then targeted a second man and took him down just as easily. Having dealt with the guards, Junlin noted that only the prince remained. Terrified, the prince begged the immortal to wait. Just then, a massive explosion erupted in the forest, visible from miles away. Back at the capital, the princess asked her father about the terrible crimson light lighting up the sky. The emperor told her to hurry toward it, hoping the masters were safe. Meanwhile, Hong sensed a familiar aura and realized exactly who it was. Although he knew he could handle Junlin, meeting this specific person was very unpleasant for him. The prince was delighted, declaring that his master had finally arrived and their time was up. From the red darkness emerged the leader of the blood cult from the central region, known as the Stone Absolute. Junlin addressed him immediately, asking if he was the one pulling the strings behind all the atrocities, mocking him for hiding in a hole. The Stone Absolute acknowledged the cultivators from the wild region, admitting that Junlin had some ability but claiming he wasn't worthy of a fight yet. However, he was very interested in the old acquaintance standing next to Junlin. Hong addressed the villain as a blood demon, expressing surprise that he was still alive. Junlin wondered what kind of history Hong had with this guy. The Stone Absolute stepped forward, surprised to hear that nickname. He noted he hadn't been called a blood demon since he was surrounded by the holy lands of the central region 200 years ago. He was impressed, Hong remembered. Hong replied that those who survived the Great War wouldn't forget. He explained that this man was once the most powerful of the true immortals. He increased his power by absorbing the life force of others and teaching dark techniques to spread chaos. Worse, he would eventually consume the energy of his own followers to boost his power. His methods were so vile and his growth so rapid that the greatest powers had to unite to destroy him. Even Hong, representing the demonic path, had been forced to join the war against him. The prince suddenly shouted that if news of this reached the central region, it would cause a massive uproar, adding that his master had finally arrived to save him. He started complaining like a child, pointing at Hong and whining that this woman tried to finish him off and demanding revenge. The Stone Absolute had no patience for the prince's complaints. Without a word, he unleashed a laser beam from his eyes, permanently silencing the prince. Hong watched the scene and remarked that the villain really hadn't changed. He was still the same ruthless monster who showed zero mercy, even to his own disciples. The Stone Absolute replied coldly that the disciple was nothing and could be replaced at any time. He warned Hong that if he tried to fight, he wouldn't survive, asking if he still didn't understand how things worked. Watching the drama, Junlin commented that the plot had taken quite a dramatic turn. Hong was confused and asked how this was possible. He had seen with his own eyes how the Stone Absolute's immortal body was destroyed by 4 divine artifacts in the past, draining his life force to the last drop. The villain explained that he wasn't a fool. He had separated a drop of his life essence beforehand and hidden it in a safe place. That drop allowed him to be reborn after his fall. He noted that Hong seemed to be in a similar situation, currently rebuilding his strength at the initial spirit transformation stage. He creepily suggested that Hong should just give up and let his essence be absorbed so they could be together forever. Hong called him crazy, reminding him that he had rejected his offers time and time again in the central region. He challenged the villain, asking if he really thought he could win so easily. The Stone Absolute laughed, saying that resistance only made it more exciting. He claimed that while some could overcome a small power gap, the difference between them was too vast for Hong to overcome. Hong asked how he could be so sure without trying, and immediately unleashed the divine path of the 5 absolutes. The Stone Absolute was shocked by the move, and countered with a massive crimson hand. The collision of their attacks caused a huge explosion that surprised even them. The Stone Absolute couldn't believe it. He wondered how a cultivator at the initial stage of spirit transformation could possess fire strong enough to destroy his attack. He questioned where Hong had found such a technique. Hong told him the show was just beginning and launched a fire frost attack. The villain mocked him, calling him a loser, and tried to use a soul absorption technique to counter it. However, Hong's attack was so potent that it broke through and hit the enemy directly. Stunned by the sinister power of the fire, the Stone Absolute was forced to switch tactics and use an ice defense. He admitted he was impressed, noting that Hong really was the exceptional talent he had once singled out. He asked if Hong had found an incredible legacy during his escape or become the disciple of some powerful master. Hong lied, claiming it had nothing to do with anyone else. Internally, however, he realized that with the 3000 fiery flames technique he got from Junlin, he was actually holding his own against the entity that once terrified the entire central region. He knew he couldn't let the villain know he learned this from a backwater cultivator like Junlin. The Stone Absolute decided that if he let Hong develop any further, he would become too powerful to control. He decided to end it right there, and unleash the true power of his immortal body. Meanwhile, back in the city, the citizens suddenly began screaming in pain, their energy likely being drained to fuel the villain's ultimate attack. At that moment, the Stone Absolute began draining the energy from the citizens below. He reveled in the surge of power, declaring that the people of Wei had been his food source for a long time. He bragged that he could devour them instantly to boost his strength whenever he pleased. Junlin told Hong to stop stalling and finish the enemy off quickly. Hong snapped back, telling his teacher not to order him around. Internally, however, Hong was panicking. He had originally hoped that the blood demon would be too much for Junlin, allowing Hong to step in and save the day with honor. But now, he realized the situation was so dire that he might not even escape the fight alive. The villain revealed he was utilizing fusion energy. He recalled how in the past he had fought powerful cultivators from both the righteous and demonic paths without losing ground. He boasted that even elders from the Holy Lands wielding immortal artifacts hadn't been able to completely destroy his immortal body. He announced that his body was already restored to 70% capacity. Once he absorbed every living creature in the wild region, he would reach full strength, and not even the central city would be able to stop him. He told Hong that since he refused to join him, his demise was entirely his own fault. Hong realized the enemy had reached the fusion stage, which was a disaster. He immediately unleashed the violet flame that burns the sky. The attack landed, and even the Stone Absolute took some damage. However, Hong knew that fighting an opponent with such a massive power gap was usually a death sentence. Desperate, Hong considered burning his own spiritual core for a final stand. He launched the Golden Flame and the Furious Dragon Flame. The Stone Absolute scoffed, saying resistance was useless and comparing the attacks to a slight itch. Blocking Hong's assault, the villain prepared a counterattack, declaring that it was the end. Hong realized his strongest techniques weren't working. He tried to defend himself with a golden flame shield, but the Stone Absolute didn't slow down, smashing through the defense effortlessly while shouting for Hong to perish. Meanwhile, the Emperor and the Princess arrived at the mountain. Seeing the terrifying battle, the Emperor feared for the immortal's life. The Princess asked what kind of monster that was. The Emperor realized this was the source of the evil destroying their state and worried that if even an immortal couldn't defeat it, their country was truly doomed. Hong struggled to stand, wondering if his journey to immortality was ending there. He had worked so hard to regain his power and didn't want to give up. The thought of asking Junlin for help crossed his mind, but his pride made him hesitate. Admitting he needed help felt like a disgrace. Furthermore, he doubted Junlin could even help, reasoning that a spirit transformation master couldn't possibly defeat a fusion stage monster. The Stone Absolute mocked him, saying that since Hong didn't want to continue the journey together in life, he would die and become part of his body, carrying his will to the end of the path. The villain launched a massive final attack. Hong's mind went blank. Driven by the instinct to survive, he swallowed his pride and screamed for his mentor to save him. The Stone Absolute was shocked, asking if the great Hong had actually become someone's disciple. Suddenly, Junlin stepped in, remarking that his student had finally realized who he owed his knowledge to. The Stone Absolute mocked Hong, saying he never expected him to sink so low as to become the disciple of a lowly spirit transformation cultivator from the wild region. He called it an absolute disgrace to the entire demonic path. Hong realized that even though Junlin was constantly teasing him, he was still his savior. However, seeing his mentor step up against the Stone Absolute, Hong was terrified that disaster awaited him. Junlin calmly asked if the enemy was looking down on him. The Stone Absolute retorted that an ant like him had no idea how vast the sky was, boasting that in his prime, he could have drowned him with a single spit. Hong apologized to his mentor, admitting he was no match for the blood demon. He pleaded for help but added that if things looked bad, Junlin should just run away. Junlin scoffed at the idea of running, saying it was out of the question. He told Hong to watch closely as he defeated this enemy for the sake of his student. The Stone Absolute laughed, asking who exactly the immortal planned to defeat. He doubted Junlin could withstand even a single blow. Calling him an ignorant upstart, the villain launched a massive attack. Hong screamed for his mentor to forget about him and flee, convinced it was all over. Suddenly, the system announced that it had detected an enemy at the initial fusion stage. The passive effect of meeting the strong immediately activated, boosting Junlin's power to the middle fusion stage. Without wasting any words, Junlin used his newfound strength to easily shatter the villain's attack. The Stone Absolute was stunned, unable to understand how a spirit transformation cultivator could pull that off. Then realization hit him. He exclaimed that the immortal wasn't at the spirit transformation stage at all, he had also reached the fusion stage. Hong was equally shocked. He couldn't believe Junlin had hidden his true level so deeply, pretending to be weaker while actually being a powerful fusion master. It made sense now why Junlin was always so confident and provocative. Hong was incredibly relieved he hadn't tried to fight Junlin earlier, or he would have been crushed. Watching from a distance, the princess screamed in admiration admiration, saying the immortal looked so impressive that she wanted to be like him. The emperor remained cautious, noting that their opponent was a terrifying monster with an immortal body, so the battle would still be incredibly difficult. Junlin felt the surge of fusion stage power, feeling as if he could destroy heaven and earth with a single wave of his hand. The Stone Absolute regained his composure, arguing that even if they were both at the fusion stage, the difference in their techniques was massive. He declared he would show Junlin what true power looked like and unleashed his full energy. Junlin retorted that the villain had no idea what true power was. He countered by using the seal of the Human King. The Stone Absolute tried to deflect the attack with a finger, but it exploded violently on contact. Confused, the villain asked what happened. Junlin explained that thanks to the system, his Human King seal had reached the master stage, making it far stronger than before. The Stone Absolute sneered, pointing out that Junlin still couldn't destroy him because of his immortal body. He claimed he would eventually win a battle of attrition. Junlin decided it was the perfect time to try out a new move. Asking the villain how he liked this one, Junlin unleashed the Great Void Finger, which had now reached the stage of perfection. As he launched his attack, Junlin chanted the incantation, the first finger to bind the heavens and earth, the second to destroy mountains and rivers, the third to eliminate all living things, and the fourth to crush the heavens themselves. The Stone Absolute was baffled by the sheer scale of the technique. He took back his earlier insults, admitting that Junlin was truly worthy of fighting him. He suggested they stop holding back and settle everything with one final clash. Unleashing his Blood Absolute technique, he channeled energy from every limb to strike. However, Junlin was already prepared. With a single strike, he completely overpowered his opponent. The Stone Absolute was stunned, demanding to know who this person really was. He couldn't understand how such a monster existed in the small wild region, wondering if the talent in the outside world had grown this strong during his absence. Hong was equally shocked. He realized his mentor was terrifyingly strong. Compared to this new move, even the 3,000 blazing flames technique looked weak. He finally understood why Junlin had been so confident before. He simply hadn't considered Hong a worthy opponent. Junlin introduced himself as the peak leader from the Xuantian sect. The Stone Absolute refused to believe it. He had investigated the region upon arrival and knew that not even the sect leader had reached the spirit transformation stage, let alone the fusion stage. Realizing he couldn't win, the villain vowed to remember Junlin's name and activated his Bloody Way technique to escape. Hong shouted a warning, realizing that if the monster escaped, the consequences would be catastrophic. The Stone Absolute promised he wouldn't be so careless next time as he turned into mist to vanish. Junlin decided there wouldn't be a next time. He reached out and grabbed the escaping entity. The Stone Absolute screamed in terror, begging for it to end. Junlin stated that consuming human life was a crime against nature, and that the villain had to be removed from the world. With a final burst of power, he completely destroyed the entity, ensuring he would never return. Hong watched in awe, realizing that the infamous blood demon, who once terrified the entire central region, had fallen by Junlin's hand. The emperor began to rejoice, shouting that the demon was destroyed and the state of Wei was finally saved thanks to the immortal. After the victory, Junlin nagged the system for his reward, telling it not to make him ask twice since it claimed to be professional. The system announced that he had received the Bone of the Supreme. It was a mysterious bone inscribed with runes that granted the highest innate power, a gift for someone destined to become the greatest of all. The system asked if he wanted to integrate it immediately. Junlin, excited by the description, told it to go ahead. The system began the binding process. Once complete, the system congratulated him, noting that his strength had increased significantly. Hong instantly noticed the shift. The waves of energy radiating from Junlin made him shudder. He was curious about what kind of massive legacy Junlin had inherited, reasoning that such a genius couldn't just appear in the wild region out of nowhere. Hong realized he needed to reassess Junlin's true strength. He resolved to speed up his own cultivation and reach the fusion stage as quickly as possible to have any chance of keeping up with him. The emperor approached Junlin, expressing his deep gratitude for saving the people of the Wei state. He promised to record the day's events in the royal annals so that future generations would remember the immortal's virtue. Junlin brushed off the thanks, stating that the most important thing was for the emperor to govern well and take care of his subjects. The emperor promised to remember the instructions. Suddenly, the princess asked if she could become a disciple of the Xuantian sect. She explained that she wanted to be like Junlin, capable of driving out demons and eliminating evil. Junlin used his special vision to assess the girl, whose name was Xiao Liner. He noticed she had excellent potential. He told her that she possessed a high-quality water spiritual root, making her a great candidate. If she was serious about it, he agreed to accept her. The emperor was pleasantly surprised and urged Liner to thank the immortal immediately, which she did. The emperor noted that Junlin had not only saved the state but also accepted his daughter as a disciple. To celebrate, he insisted on holding a feast and prepared royal quarters for them to rest. Junlin agreed to the arrangement. Later that evening, Hong realized that his wounds had fully healed and his strength had surged to the peak of the spirit transformation stage. Ever since he started practicing the 3,000 blazing flames technique and taking the elixirs, his cultivation speed had increased dramatically. He had to admit that his master's methods were impressive. However, Even though Junlin saved him, Hong wasn't ready to let go of the humiliation he had suffered. He vowed that once he reached the fusion stage, he would pay it all back double. The mere thought of making Junlin beg for mercy made him tremble with excitement. Suddenly, Junlin called out for Hong to come over. Hong was annoyed, feeling like the servant treatment was starting again. Junlin was reading a book, commenting that this martial arts novel was quite interesting. He mused that the locals seemed to love stories about characters being humiliated and then rising to power. He joked that if he wrote novels here under the pen name Crazy Potato, starting with a protagonist at the peak of martial arts, it would surely be a hit. Hong, confused by the rambling, asked why he was summoned. Junlin simply ordered him to help wash his feet. Hong was furious. He thought to himself that even the formidable blood demon had fallen to Junlin, so now wasn't the time to rebel. He had to endure. Junlin teased him, asking why he was neglecting his mentor and telling him to hurry up. Hong gritted his teeth and said he wouldn't dare disobey. Internally, Hong raged. He used to be a true immortal fire cult master with thousands of defeats on his record, yet here he was, forced to wash the feet of a cultivator from the wild region. Junlin praised him for being a good disciple, remarking that for a moment, he thought Hong was going to challenge him. Suddenly, as Hong touched the water, he froze. He realized the basin was filled with water of boundless light. This legendary liquid allowed mortals to remain young and live for centuries, while for cultivators, it cleansed the body of impurities and massively boosted strength. In the central region, even a small bottle of this elixir would sell out instantly. It was an incredibly rare treasure, yet his mentor was casually using it to wash his feet. Hong was now absolutely certain that Junlin must have received a massive ancient inheritance to be this wasteful. He realized that drinking this water would be a huge help for his cultivation, but then the awkward reality hit him. It was currently being used as bath water. Junlin noticed the strange look on Hong's face and asked if there was a problem, joking if he thought his feet smelled bad. Hong quickly replied that it wasn't that, he was just lost in thought. Junlin realized that the system had provided an excessive amount of the boundless light water, so he figured using it for a foot bath while getting a massage from his disciple was a pretty good way to spend his time. He then casually mentioned that the water had cooled down and told Hong to heat it up. Hong complied, placing his hands into the basin and using his fire powers to warm the liquid. Just then, Princess Liner walked in to speak with the immortal. However, Junlin was too busy relaxing to notice her initial reaction. Liner was completely shocked by the scene, finding the dynamic between the mentor and student incredibly bizarre. Feeling embarrassed and awkward, she turned around and ran away. Junlin called out to ask why she was leaving so suddenly, but Hong interrupted, asking if the master was satisfied with the way he was washing his feet. Junlin replied that he was very pleased, though he joked that he wished Hong were a girl so their relationship could be more traditional. Hong was privately fuming at the comment, telling himself he just had to endure a little longer until he became strong enough to make Junlin regret his words. Suddenly, Junlin's communication ring signaled a message from the sect leader. The message urged him to return to the sect immediately to discuss a new strategy. It appeared that an ancient secret realm was about to open in the wild region. The leader believed that if the Xuantian sect could seize this opportunity, they would flourish like never before. Junlin was intrigued by the mention of an ancient secret world. Hong explained that such places were usually packed with rare resources that could fundamentally change a cultivator's destiny. He was surprised such a place existed in this region and knew that as soon as the news got out, chaos would erupt. However, he saw it as his big chance. If he could find a legendary inheritance to combine with his 3000 blazing flames technique, his power would skyrocket. The system chimed in with a new quest, instructing Junlin to complete a task within the Tianyu secret realm for an incredible reward. When Junlin asked for more details, the system teased that telling him now would ruin the surprise. Junlin told Hong to get ready, noting they would say their goodbyes to the emperor and then head back to the sect. At the palace, Liner told her father she was hesitant to leave him and wondered if she should stay. The emperor reassured her, saying that being accepted into the Xuantian sect was a rare honor that most people only dreamed of. He encouraged her to cherish the opportunity. The emperor then promised Junlin that he would follow his instructions, care for his people, and be a good ruler. He also asked Junlin to look after his daughter. Junlin replied that while he would guide her, he wouldn't show favoritism, her progress would depend entirely on her own hard work. As they departed, the citizens gathered to shout their thanks and say goodbye to the immortal. Meanwhile, at the True Heritage Hall of the Heavenly Ascension sect, the headmaster noted the recent wave of major events in the wild region. He mentioned the upcoming opening of the secret world and the news that the Fanglay sect had been wiped out by a certain peak leader from the Xuantian sect. Zhao asked about the specific level of strength of the person in question. The leader explained that, according to the rumors, he was a recently ascended nascent soul stage cultivator. Zhao was surprised, noting that finishing off such cultivators would be as easy as slaughtering chickens for someone like him. He then asked his teacher about his father, Elder Mu, wanting to know who was responsible for his end. The leader replied that it wasn't entirely clear yet, but all evidence pointed toward the Xuantian sect. They questioned whether such an insignificant sect could have actually finished Elder Mu, especially since they seemed to rely entirely on the leader of Cloudy Distance Peak, who was only at the nascent soul stage. This led them to believe the true culprit might be someone else. Regardless, they decided that the Swantian sect had to be destroyed, and the peak leader who allegedly harmed Xiao's father had to perish. The leader mentioned that an ancient secret dimension had appeared in the wild region, and informed Xiao that the sect would be sending several elders along with him. He reminded Xiao that he represented the Heavenly Ascension sect and would be competing against other great powers. He urged Xiao to set his priorities correctly and save his revenge for later. Xiao confirmed he understood the instructions. The leader then revealed a plan while holding a green pill. He intended to continue demonstrating his strength, hoping that the resources won in the great sect competition would allow him to break through to the spirit transformation stage. This would elevate both of them to a new level. In this world, the hierarchy of power is clearly defined. Divine Lord, a cultivator at the spirit transformation stage. Heavenly Lord, a cultivator at the fusion stage. Venerable or supreme, a cultivator at the great completion stage. Illusory immortal, a cultivator at the transition stage. Touching even the edge of the immortal title allows a cultivator to dominate an entire region. The wild region, usually considered the most remote and backwards part of the Eastern realm, suddenly became the center of attention because of this ancient secret world and the promise of immortality it held. A group of outsiders heading to the area remarked on their luck, noting that the local cultivators in the wild region were extremely weak and would likely miss out on the opportunity. They mocked the region as a place for barbarians but urged each other to hurry, fearing that once the Heavenly Ascension sect arrived, there would be no spoils left for anyone else. A massive crowd gathered at the entrance of the ancient secret world. One of the elders noted that 4 of the 5 great sects had already arrived, with only the Swantian sect missing. Some wondered if they had given up, but others disagreed, pointing out that Swantian had recently absorbed the Fanglay sect and likely planned to become the top power in the region. Elder Feng of the mountain-moving sect laughed at the idea of the Swantian sect overshadowing them. He had been in seclusion for a long time and was surprised to hear that a spirit transformation master had appeared in the wild region. He believed that even if Swantian had 2 nascent soul cultivators, it wouldn't be enough to lead. The warriors lined up to greet Elder Feng as he stepped forward. He declared that coming out of seclusion just as the secret world appeared was a sign of fate. He claimed the secret world for the mountain-moving sect and challenged anyone to object. The other elders realized that since Feng had reached the spirit transformation stage, he was now technically the strongest person in the wild region. The servants all bowed, shouting that they would obey the command of the Divine Lord and wishing him a long life. The local warriors whispered among themselves, wondering who would dare to challenge a spirit transformation master now. However, the atmosphere shifted as the Battle Sky Temple arrived, their representatives crudely telling the barbarians of the wild region to clear out. Following them was the southern border ruler from the Heavenly Ruler Empire, a master already at the late stage of spirit transformation. He asked mockingly if there really was such a master in this remote area. Chief Feng of the mountain-moving sect felt the pressure. He had struggled for 10 years to reach the spirit transformation stage, becoming a legend in the wild region, only to realize that out in the wider eastern realm, he was hardly considered significant. Trying to be humble, Chief Feng introduced himself as an elder of his sect and suggested they could call him Xiao Feng to show respect. But the opposing warrior laughed, asking if he wasn't ashamed to act so young and submissive. He told Feng to stay quiet, as no one had given him permission to speak. The other elders joined in, calling the people of the wild region trash and saying that even with his cultivation, he couldn't compare to them. Chief Feng stood his ground, telling the respected Taoists that while the conditions in the wild region were harsh, the people were not inferior. He knew his disciples were watching him with hope. If he retreated now, the wild region would never have a future. Getting angry, he declared that even if they were poor, they were ready to fight, and he challenged anyone to step forward who disagreed. The outsiders were offended by the old man's boldness, calling him an impudent fool looking for an early end. They initially wanted to swarm him, but their leader stopped them, saying they would be laughed at for ganging up on a lone old man from a backwater region. He decided to suppress Feng with a single hand to show him his weakness, and launched a powerful palm attack. Chief Feng didn't flinch. He countered with a shout, meeting the attack head-on. The explosion was so powerful that the enemy was stunned to see Feng successfully block it. Realizing he had underestimated the old man, the opponent grew furious. He drew his weapon, calling Feng an ungrateful old dog and vowing to finish him. Under the weight of the armed attack, Chief Feng was severely injured. He coughed up blood but reminded his opponent that he had promised to fight alone. By breaking that word, the enemy was disgracing the entire Eastern realm. Feng declared that dying for honor was a worthy death and that the cultivators of the wild region would not be humiliated. The Eastern leader was about to grant Feng's wish for death when a powerful seal suddenly detonated nearby. A voice remarked on how busy the place had become. The crowd realized that the abbot of the heavenly temple from the Buddhist province, the master of the Golden Buddha, had arrived. Behind him were other legends, young Master Tian and the heir of the Ice Ocean's top cultivator clan. The local leaders felt a terrifying pressure radiating from the newcomers. Both of the young masters had already reached the fusion stage, making it clear that the wild region stood no chance of winning control over the secret world. Finally, the Heavenly Ascension sect from the Jade Gorge province made their entrance. With their arrival, every major power in the Eastern realm was now gathered at the gates. The crowd erupted into shouts of excitement as Chen Xiao, the holy son of the Heavenly Ascension sect, made his entrance. Everyone had heard of him. He possessed a solar immortal body and was considered invincible among his peers. Many believed he was destined to be the brightest star of the Eastern region, a legend in the making for the next 100,000 years. One of the chiefs asked if Chen Xiao wasn't originally the crown prince of the Fanglay sect from the wild region. It was well known that he viewed his home region with disgust, seeing it only as a place where he had once suffered humiliation before rising in the Heavenly Ascension sect. An elder from his sect stepped forward, declaring that the Holy Sun was not a figure to be discussed by lowly ants and threatening to finish anyone who spoke out of turn. At that moment, the leaders of the Zhuantian sect arrived. The sect leader noted that he had expected Chen Xiao, the son of the late Elder Mu, to appear once the secret world opened. He felt relieved they hadn't rushed blindly into the chaos. Another elder suggested that while the great powers fought over resources, the Zhuantian sect should perhaps lie low or leave the region entirely to stay safe. Su disagreed, stating that everything depended on junior brother Junlin, though she worriedly asked where he was. Just then, Junlin appeared on the scene. Chief Feng of the mountain-moving sect warned him not to be reckless, but Junlin calmly remarked that these upstarts had gone wild and that without his intervention, the wild region would be doomed. Chen Xiao demanded to know who was approaching. Junlin didn't mince words, introducing himself simply as the person who had finished Chen Xiao's father. The crowd was stunned. They knew him as the peak lord of the Zhuantian sect, but believed he was only at the nascent soul stage. Chen Xiao was consumed by a blinding rage, demanding to know if Junlin was truly the one who ended the patriarch of the Fanglay sect. Junlin teased him, asking if he was referring to that idiot who always bragged about his son's potential. He confirmed that he was indeed the one who dealt with him. Chen Xiao was so furious he could barely speak, but a servant intervened, asking the Holy Sun for permission to capture this madman. The warrior charged at Junlin, calling him a brat who showed no respect. However, Hong stepped forward to protect his mentor. The warrior was momentarily distracted by Hong's appearance, calling him a beauty. Insulted once again, Hong wasted no time, unleashing a flaming virtual ripple that incinerated the warrior instantly. The onlookers were horrified. A spirit transformation master had been defeated just like that. Chi Feng was shocked, wondering when such powerful cultivators had appeared in the wild region. He realized that new peaks were hidden behind the mountains, and his own knowledge was limited. He was even more confused. To learn that Hong was Junlin's disciple, he couldn't understand how a supposed nascent soul master could have a spirit transformation disciple. The Zhuantian sect leader rushed to Junlin, begging him to run while they distracted the Heavenly Ascension sect. He believed that as long as Junlin lived, the sect had a chance to be reborn. Junlin told him not to worry and introduced his newest disciple, Liner. He explained that she was the daughter of the Emperor of Wei and possessed a high-quality water spiritual root, making her a perfect fit for the peak of heavenly fragrances. Liner walked up to Su and formally greeted her. Su was immediately impressed, noting that the girl seemed like the true embodiment of spiritual potential. However, Chen Xiao wasn't finished. He shouted at Junlin, warning him not to look down on him or the Heavenly Ascension sect. He vowed that everyone from the Zhuantian sect would pay for his father's death with their lives, and that Junlin would be made to suffer. Junlin calmly asked if Chen Xiao actually thought he was worthy of a direct challenge. He then ordered Hong to step forward and teach the boy some humility, just as Junlin had taught him. Hong felt like a dog finally let off its chain. Although he didn't like being ordered around, he was more than happy to unleash his frustration on a new target. When Chen Xiao saw Hong stepping up, he called Junlin a coward for hiding behind his disciple, and claimed Junlin was afraid to face a real saint. Hong retorted that his mentor's intervention wasn't even needed to handle someone like him. Chen Xiao, struck by Hong's strength and appearance, asked why someone so talented would languish in a miserable sect. He offered Hong a place in the Heavenly Ascension sect, promising the highest favors. Hong flatly refused, stating he wasn't interested. Chen Xiao, continuing to mistake Hong for a girl, asked if he had even bothered to think it over. Hong replied that his mentor was right. Chen Xiao's father was an idiot, and Chen Xiao himself was a double idiot. Enraged by the insult, Chen Xiao decided to punish him and launched a swirling fire attack. Hong stayed calm and used his meteorite flame, repelling the attack with total ease. Chen Xiao was stunned that his technique was destroyed so easily. Hong mockingly asked if that was all he had. Chen Xiao warned him not to get too happy, declaring it was only the beginning. He channeled his full power and unleashed the fist of the solar deity. The sect leaders watching were impressed, noting that the Holy Sun was truly gifted. They observed that his high-ranking heavenly technique, combined with his solar immortal body, possessed enough power to destroy a spirit transformation master and could even threaten someone at the fusion stage. After the massive strike, Chen Xiao was convinced he had won. However, as the smoke cleared, he was horrified to see Hong standing there completely unharmed. He shouted in disbelief, unable to accept that someone could withstand his best move when he felt he was born for immortality and invincibility. He tried to continue the assault, but Hong told him he was just a frog in a well. Hong decided to take all the frustration he had built up from being teased by Junlin and unleash it on Chen Xiao to show him what true humiliation felt like. Hong's counterattacks were far superior, and he began to dismantle Chen Xiao's offense effortlessly. Chen Xiao panicked, wondering why his attacks felt like they were hitting cotton wool and having no effect. He admitted he had never seen such martial prowess even within his own elite sect, and wondered how a pathetic group like Xuantian could produce such a disciple. Hong simply called him a weakling. The elders of the Heavenly Ascension sect shouted for their holy son not to lose heart, reminding him he was a chosen hero born for immortality. Reinvigorated, Chen Xiao released his energy again, activating his solar immortal body. He unleashed the initial divine eclipse technique directly at Hong. Hong wasn't intimidated, calling the move child's play. He promised to show Chen Xiao the true meaning of being invincible among equals and unleashed a 7-colored flame attack. Chief Feng was shocked by the display of power, questioning if someone at the spirit transformation stage could really possess such strength. The elders wondered if this power could actually defeat a fusion stage master. When the dust settled, the crowd was speechless as they saw Chen Xiao fall to the ground. They couldn't believe the holy son of the Heavenly Ascension sect had actually lost. Hong looked down at him and asked how a mere spark dared to compete with the radiance of the full moon. The Xuantian sect leader turned to Junlin, admitting that his disciple was almost too strong to believe. Zhao warned the group that despite defeating Chen Xiao, the Heavenly Ascension sect still had many powerful elders, and it would be wise to leave immediately. Junlin joined the conversation, telling everyone not to worry. He turned to Hong and promised him an extra dinner that night as a reward. Hong expressed his gratitude to his teacher, while Chen Xiao sat in shock, struggling to process his loss. A fire elder from the Heavenly Ascension sect approached Chen Xiao. The young saint admitted he had failed and brought shame to the sect. The elder was genuinely surprised that their holy son had been defeated by a disciple from the wild region, noting that such a loss could shake the sect's reputation. However, he urged Chen Xiao not to dwell on it, reminding him that he was born to become immortal. He declared that to restore their greatness and strengthen Chen Xiao's resolve, they had to destroy the barbarians of the wild region. The elder called for retribution against those who insulted their holy son, asking who would step forward to eliminate the opposition. In an impressive display of the sect's depth, 9 fusion stage masters stepped out. Onlookers noted that while Hong had defeated the holy son, he was only at the spirit transformation stage and would be helpless against fusion masters. Even a monk nearby remarked on what a tragic waste of talent this would be. Hong asked his mentor if he should take the fight, but Junlin told him to step aside, saying he would handle it himself. As Junlin prepared for battle, the crowd realized he had already reached the fusion stage. Heavenly Sovereign Chief Feng, who had previously considered himself the strongest in the region, felt humbled and slightly ridiculous for his earlier boasting. One of the opposing warriors mocked Junlin, asking if he really thought his fusion stage power was enough to insult their holy son. He launched a flurry of attacks, but Junlin didn't even flinch. He walked right through the barrage and appeared directly in front of his enemy. With a single kick to the chest, Junlin sent the warrior flying. Junlin was secretly impressed with himself, noting that after binding with the Supreme Bone, his physical strength had become terrifying enough to crush anyone at the same level with raw power alone. The Fire Elder ordered all his men to swarm Junlin at once. Despite being surrounded, Junlin remained calm and activated the seal of the ruler of people. The warriors were unable to even touch him and were all knocked back with injuries. Desperate, they called for everyone to use their artifacts, including the immortal sword of Jade Serenity, to launch a massive combined strike. Junlin simply stood his ground and waited for the attack. The observing monk predicted this cruel joint attack would lead to Junlin's inevitable death, though a nearby warrior noted the monk's hypocrisy for being so bloodthirsty behind a facade of mercy. Back in the Xuantian camp, the leaders panicked, feeling Junlin was in grave danger. Su and Hong, however, remained calm. Hong had seen Junlin's true power in the Wei state and knew he was still hiding his full potential. Junlin laughed and challenged them to try their best. He activated one of the divine abilities of his Supreme Bone, unleashing a divine punishing light. The energy was so overwhelming that it absorbed the joint attack and decimated the group of warriors. Badly wounded and defeated, the survivors begged the Fire Elder to save them. The Elder realized that Junlin was far more troublesome than he had ever anticipated. The Fire Elder grew desperate, realizing that with the Holy Sun seriously injured and the other warriors defeated, he couldn't return to the sect empty-handed. He decided to take matters into his own hands and launched an attack directly from the sect's massive ship. Witnesses recognized the weapon as the Buddha Tower, a 3-star 5-star spiritual artifact and the Elder's most powerful tool. Many thought this would finally be the end for the Zwantian sect. The Elder unleashed the tower's energy, certain it would finish Junlin. However, Junlin was actually excited, as this was exactly the challenge he was waiting for. The system immediately notified Junlin that he was in conflict with a peak fusion stage master. The passive ability triggered once again, elevating Junlin's power to the full fusion stage. The Elder tried to close the distance, but he couldn't get near Junlin. Every attack the Elder launched was effortlessly repelled. The Elder was shocked, wondering if Junlin had been hiding this level of power all along. Seeing no way to win, the Elder suddenly changed his tone, admitting defeat and announcing that the Heavenly Ascension sect would voluntarily withdraw from the fight for the secret world. This only made Junlin angrier. He pointed out how unfair it was for them to attack whenever they wanted and then expect to just walk away. Junlin declared that since they had already started this, they should finish it with their lives. The Elder warned him not to provoke the full wrath of the Heavenly Ascension sect, but then paused as he realized something. Junlin must have been the one who killed Elder Mu from their outer courtyard. Junlin confirmed it, stating that since they were already enemies, he might as well finish a few more for fun. Without giving the Elder another chance to speak, Junlin used his power to incinerate him instantly. The crowd was speechless. A barbarian from the wild region had just destroyed a high-ranking Elder with a single wave of his hand. They realized that with the Elder's fall and Chen Shao's spirit being crushed, the reputation of the Heavenly Ascension sect would be ruined. Chen Shao himself was filled with despair, wondering if his father's killer was truly so strong that he would never get his revenge. The remaining warriors panicked and decided to activate their golden ship to escape with the Holy Sun. Hong was annoyed by their attempt to flee after such a show of arrogance. He unleashed a massive wave of flames toward the ship, vowing that none of them would escape. The onlookers were terrified, thinking that Junlin and his disciple were completely insane for trying to wipe out the entire group, including the Holy Sun. However, just as the flames were about to hit, a monk stepped in to protect the ship with a powerful palm strike. Addressing Hong as a young lady, the monk asked when this cycle of revenge would ever end and why they were so intent on exterminating everyone. Hong wasn't fooled, telling the bald monk that he saw right through the Buddhist tricks. He accused the monk of being a hypocrite who was only saving the ship so the Heavenly Ascension sect would owe him a favor. The monk denied the claim, suggesting that Hong's prejudice showed he was falling into the demonic path and offered to guide him. Hong retorted that back in the central region, he despised people like this monk the most, those who act for their own benefit while hiding behind a mask of virtue. He declared that even if he chose the demonic path, he didn't need the monk's instructions. The monk decided that since Hong was stubborn, he would set him on the true path by force. Hong felt an incredible pressure radiating from the old monk, who was clearly at the peak fusion stage. Just as the tension peaked, Junlin stepped in front of the monk. He asked if the monk was really trying to bully his disciple while he was distracted. The monk tried to play it off, saying he only wanted to give the student some guidance. Junlin mocked the idea of the monk being worthy of instructing his disciple. Hong felt the same way, thinking it was ridiculous for a mere fusion stage monk to try to lecture a reincarnated true immortal. Hong thanked his mentor for the help, though he was frustrated that the old bald monk had allowed the ship to escape. The monk replied that he simply felt things had gone too far and decided to intervene to maintain peace. He added that if Junlin felt differently, he had nothing more to say. Junlin asked if the monk really thought he could just show off and then walk away, telling him to stop acting and face the situation. The monk asked what Junlin meant by that. He reminded Junlin that the floating temple was one of the most powerful Buddhist orders in the eastern region. He noted that Junlin had already made an enemy of the Heavenly Ascension sect and questioned if he really had the courage to oppose the Buddhists as well. Junlin told the monk that he was being quite clever. He pointed out that the monk had done nothing but manage to create a massive debt of gratitude for himself, leaving all the dirty work for Junlin to clean up later. Since the monk claimed to be so enlightened, Junlin mockingly asked why he couldn't predict the date of his own end. The monk stated that Junlin's words were becoming disrespectful. Junlin didn't wait and launched a fire attack, asking what the monk planned to do about it. The monk tried to defend himself with a golden bell technique, but his defense was too weak and he was injured by the strike. Struggling to stay on his feet as he landed, the monk told his mentor that the immortal was mocking them. He asked if Junlin truly believed the floating temple was a weak target. The mentor replied that since Junlin was being so persistent, he shouldn't be blamed for showing no mercy. He then summoned the massive image of the Dharma Buddha. Junlin watched the spectacle without moving. Onlookers noted that the mentor was using a high-level Buddhist manifestation technique and held a 3-star spiritual artifact in his hands. They whispered that Junlin had lost his mind. After offending the Heavenly Ascension sect, he was now making enemies of the Buddhist orders. They wondered if he was simply tired of living. The mentor told Junlin that he had been given a chance but was far too stubborn, so now he would be calmed down by force. He raised his weapon and unleashed a powerful resolution attack. Junlin stood perfectly still, remarking that he found the situation interesting. He then summoned the heaven burial coffin and stopped the entire attack with a single hand. The monk was stunned. unable to comprehend how Junlin had accomplished such a feat. Meanwhile, Junlin noticed that as his level increased, the coffin had evolved from a 4-star artifact into a 6-star artifact. He told the monk that if that divine ability was all he had, then it was time for them to go inside. The junior monks were terrified, screaming for their teacher to save them. The mentor was shocked, labeling Junlin a cursed evil person hiding within a sect. He shouted to his allies that Junlin was a heretic who needed to be destroyed immediately. The crowd watched in awe, wondering if anyone else would dare to risk a fight. Hong realized that he had been right. His mentor was still hiding even greater layers of power. The monk warned Junlin one last time, asking if he really wanted to be at odds with the strongest Buddhist sect in the region. Junlin replied that nothing irritated him more than hypocrites like them. He stated that he had no limit on who he would fight. His principle was simply to eliminate those who were fake. With a wave of his hand, he told the monk to stop talking and get into the coffin. After locking the monk inside, Junlin lifted the heavy artifact with one hand and asked the crowd who else wanted to attack. The Xuantian sect leader cheered, shouting that his brother had done an incredible job. Xiao was so stunned he asked if he was dreaming, even suggesting that someone hit him to wake him up. Su immediately obliged and punched him right in the face. When a bewildered Xiao asked why she did that, Su asked if it hurt. He confirmed that it definitely did, to which she replied that this proved it wasn't a dream. Even the elders were in disbelief, marveling at the fact that the wild region had actually won and that one man had managed to suppress everyone on his own. A massive cheer erupted as the crowd welcomed their new heavenly ruler. Meanwhile, the defeated enemies from outside the region were left reeling. They couldn't believe they had been bested in a place they considered backward. They realized they had completely underestimated Junlin. Not only had he shaken the mighty heavenly Ascension sect to its core, but he had also defeated the high priest of the Buddhist temple. However, they whispered that he had made mortal enemies today and that retribution would be merciless. Some of the rival clans, like the Zhu, plotted in secret, hoping the chaos would eventually play into their hands. Suddenly, a brilliant beam of light descended from the sky. The warriors shouted in excitement. The secret world had finally opened. Junlin was pleased, knowing his main task was now within reach. However, he first needed to clear the area of hostile outsiders. He announced that everyone belonging to the wild region had the right to enter and explore, but everyone else had to leave immediately. The outsider clans were deeply dissatisfied. A young master from the Shui clan complained that they hadn't even been in conflict with the Xuantian sect, yet their path was blocked. He lamented that his elders weren't there to stop such lawlessness. However, a wiser warrior advised him that fighting a battle with a predetermined outcome was just challenging fate. The young gentleman agreed, deciding to let Junlin wallow in his arrogance for now, believing it would eventually lead to his downfall. They decided to retreat and wait for a better opportunity. With the entrance cleared, Junlin took his disciples and stepped into the radiant world of Luotan. He was immediately struck by the stunning atmosphere inside. The system chimed in, announcing that a location for activation had been found and asking if he wanted to claim his reward. Junlin accepted, receiving a new projection ability. He noted it was a good addition, especially after seeing how troublesome the Golden Buddha's manifestation had been earlier. The sect leader ordered the disciples to scatter and search for rare herbs, but cautioned them to stay close and watch each other's backs. Junlin decided to do some exploring of his own while waiting for the system's next cue. The danger of the realm quickly became apparent. A group of disciples fell into a monster's trap. The creatures here were incredibly dangerous, and the leader warned everyone to gather together. Noting that even the common monsters in this world had reached the Golden Core stage, Hong remarked that no one gives away resources for free, and that they would have to prove their strength. The situation grew more chaotic as a flock of sinister birds flew overhead, followed by a pack of aggressive monkeys that launched a coordinated attack. The disciples engaged in a fierce battle, but the monkeys were relentless and powerful. One of the monkeys grabbed a female disciple, who screamed for help. The warriors rushed to her aid, but the monkey's fur was so hard that their weapons had no effect. The girl continued to scream in terror as the beast pinned her down, desperate for someone to save her from the monster's clutches. Hong caught sight of the attack and stepped in, using his fire techniques to incinerate the monkey. He checked on the girl to see if she was unharmed, and she gratefully thanked him. The sect leader noted that having Hong around brought a sense of calm to the group and asked him to look after the younger disciples. He warned that these white monkeys were agile and possessed the power of soul generation, so they couldn't afford to be careless. Hong felt that the leader should focus on his own safety rather than worrying about him. Before he could say more, the monkeys swarmed him all at once. Sensing them instantly, Hong unleashed a wall of fire, declaring them all doomed. The disciples were amazed, noting that Hong's fighting style perfectly mirrored his teacher's. Hong, however, snapped at them to be quiet, wondering where that bastard Junlin had wandered off to, assuming he was probably off relaxing somewhere again. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, Junlin asked the system if it was certain the energy anomaly was in this direction. The system confirmed it was, and teased that the upcoming task offered a reward far better than any standard activation. At the center of the secret realm, the leaders of the local tribes gathered around the Great World Tree. An elder announced that the fruit of peace had finally ripened, but its maturation had also revealed their world to the human invaders. The chief of the Stone Clan, a peak fusion stage master, insisted they deal with the invaders immediately. However, the giant clan leader argued that dividing the fruit was more important. He believed that once they consumed it and acquired the body of peace, they could crush the humans like ants. The winged clan leader interrupted, pointing out that a small white mouse had already managed to steal and eat the fruit. The dragon clan leader explained that the fruit had ripened so suddenly they hadn't had time to react. The fish clan head added that since the mouse had consumed it, the tree now recognized her as its own. If they attacked her while she was digesting, the tree would retaliate against them. The tree clan leader suggested they wait for her to finish digesting, then capture her and use secret methods to extract the essence. The giant clan leader fumed, vowing to make the lowly rat pay for her greed. Suddenly, the glow surrounding the mouse began to fade, signaling that she was almost done. A pair of tiny paws emerged from the fruit, and a little mouse popped out, yawning and saying she had slept soundly. Seeing the angry tribal leaders staring at her, the mouse tried to play it cool, greeting them and asking why they were looking for her. Sensing the murderous intent, she began to back away slowly, telling them not to stop her. The giant clan leader remarked on how fast she had become, clearly an effect of the fruit. The tree clan leader didn't wait any longer and sent his roots chasing after her. The mouse scurried away, shouting that she was intelligent and willing to negotiate. In her panic, the mouse spotted a shimmering spatial portal and jumped through it. She emerged on the other side feeling dizzy and disoriented, unsure of where she was. The winged clan leader was surprised that the mouse had gained the power of spatial movement from the fruit. He warned that if she escaped and learned to cultivate, it would be a disaster for them all. Determined to finish her, the winged clan leader launched a barrage of sharp feathers. The mouse was hit and cried out in pain. Falling to the ground, she whimpered that she didn't want to be eaten and just wanted to survive. However, the stone clan leader appeared behind her, declaring that her end was inevitable, and unleashed a powerful airstrike. The mouse was so small and weak that the force of the air sent her tumbling toward the abyss. Unable to resist, the head of the winged clan approached, mocking the dead rat for daring to claim the fruit of peace. He questioned if she even understood its value or who she thought she was to have a right to it. The head of the giant clan stood over her as well, taunting her to run, but noted she was paralyzed with fear. The mouse spoke up, arguing that no one's name was written on the fruit, so she didn't see why she couldn't eat it. She told them they were blaming her for nothing, and that she felt ashamed for them. This infuriated the head of the tree clan. He explained that the Great World Tree, which supports the entire secret world, only produces fruit once every few eras. Anyone who eats it gains the Great Luo body, the most prestigious physical form in the immortal rankings. Their tribes had waited for hundreds of generations for this moment, and she had stolen it from them. He asked her plainly if she didn't think she deserved to die so the fruit's essence could be returned to its rightful owners. The mouse realized the gravity of what she'd done and, fearing for her life, cried out for someone to save her. Just as the tree clan leader moved to crush her, an attack struck him from behind. Startled, he sensed a powerful aura and demanded to know who was there. Junlin appeared, asking the system if this little white mouse was truly the source of the energy wave. The system confirmed that by eating the fruit, the mouse had already formed the Great Luo body, giving her legendary potential. The mouse scurried over to Junlin, calling him a hero and complaining that these evil people wanted to eat her. Junlin mused that this scenario felt familiar. It seemed like every time he took on a disciple, he had to save them first. He wondered if he was becoming like a classic protagonist. He decided that since Hong was so stubborn and difficult, maybe this plump, obedient mouse would make a better student. The giant clan leader shouted that an invader had arrived and attacked. Angry that Junlin was ignoring them, Junlin didn't move. He stopped the giant's massive hammer with a single hand. He calmly stated that the mouse now belonged to him and offered to spare the tribes if they left immediately. The stone clan leader attacked as well, noting that Junlin was at the peak fusion stage, just like them. He questioned how Junlin dared to act so superior when they were all at the same power level. The giant clan leader agreed, calling for everyone to crush the invader together. Unfazed, Junlin stepped forward and struck out with his bare hands. The blow was so powerful it sent the giant clan leader flying. The giant was in shock, unable to understand how a simple physical strike could carry such weight. The winged clan leader then unleashed a barrage of razor-sharp feathers, telling Junlin he was seeking death. Junlin raised his defense and told them that since they chose to resist, they shouldn't blame him for being blunt. He unleashed the Great Wasteland Finger, sealing the heavens and raining down a fiery avalanche. The tribal heads were forced to take cover under a massive stone, shouting for everyone to stand together to repel the attack. Junlin watched them, finding their coordination interesting, but decided it was time to test his new login bonus, the Heavenly Emperor's projection. As a massive divine illusion appeared behind Junlin, the giant clan leader grew confused and made a strange comment, accusing Junlin of being a fake or using shortcuts like an AI to create his power. The tribal inhabitants residents were terrified by the overwhelming pressure of Junlin's massive illusion, feeling completely insignificant in its shadow. On the other side of the secret world, other cultivators saw the massive form in the sky. They realized it was a divine incarnation ability, far more powerful than anything they had ever seen, even surpassing the Buddhist monks they had encountered earlier. The elders wondered if it was truly the heavenly ruler from the wild region. They noted that even the strongest incarnations from the central lands would look pale in comparison and would have no choice but to bow in submission to such power. Hong observed the massive figure in the sky. Realizing his mentor was revealing yet another layer of hidden power, he wondered just how many more secrets Junlin was keeping. As the Heavenly Emperor's projection towered over the forest, Junlin's voice boomed, asking the tribal leaders if they truly dared to resist the heavens. When they chose to fight back, Junlin showed no mercy and ordered the projection to finish them. The Stone Clan leader, being the strongest among the tribal heads, launched a desperate frontal assault. Junlin met him with a heaven-splitting blow. A wave of intense fire engulfed the stone giant before he could even move, ending him instantly. The Tree Clan leader was paralyzed with fear by the overwhelming force. Seeing the tide turn, the giant clan leader tried to negotiate, acknowledging they had been reckless and suggesting they stop fighting, since there was no reason to destroy one another. Junlin wasn't interested in a fake peace. He knew they would have finished him if the roles were reversed. He lowered his fiery palm, ignoring the tribe members' screams as they cursed his cruelty. Junlin noted to himself that while the emperor form was devastatingly powerful, it had already drained 80% of his energy. He realized he had to be careful not to overextend himself. With the battle over, Junlin looked around for his future disciple. He was annoyed to find that the obedient little mouse had used the distraction of the fight to scurry away. The system informed him that the mouse was indeed nimble, thanks to the Great World Tree Fruit, but he could still catch her if he exerted some effort. Junlin tracked her through the dense forest, noting that without the system's help, she might have actually escaped him. The mouse was panicking as she sensed Junlin approaching with terrifying speed. She couldn't understand how he was finding her in such a vast wilderness. Suddenly, Junlin teleported directly in front of her, stopping her in her tracks. He picked her up and gently stroked her, asking why she had run away after promising to be his servant. The mouse whimpered, explaining that his aura was so frightening she feared he intended to eat her just like the tribal leaders did. Junlin teased her, musing aloud that while he had tasted beef and horse, he had never tried rat meat. The mouse desperately argued that rat meat was sour, tasteless, and would surely cause him a stomachache. Junlin laughed, saying her intelligence made her even more interesting. He looked at the plump creature, marveling that she possessed the body of the great Luo, the strongest immortal physique, yet was so easily frightened. He decided that if she wouldn't be a student, she would make a great pet. 2 hours later, they stopped to set up camp. As Junlin prepared a meal, the mouse woke up from a nap, lured by a delicious aroma. For a second, she feared she was still in danger, especially when she saw a large cauldron over the fire. She worried Junlin was planning to cook her after all. Junlin called her over, warning her not to make him chase her again. He handed her a piece of cooked meat and chuckled at her cowardice, telling her there was no need to be so afraid. The mouse began eating greedily, exclaiming that the meat was delicious and asking what kind it was, as she had never tasted anything like it. When Junlin told her it was a rabbit, the mouse was momentarily shocked, protesting that rabbits were too cute to eat. However, when Junlin glanced at her, she quickly changed her tune, suggesting that bunnies were indeed much better to eat than mice and asking for another piece. Junlin told her she could have more on one condition: he would be her owner and her mentor. The mouse was surprised, wondering if she truly deserved such an honor and if being his student would be dangerous. Junlin told her she was overthinking it. As his student, she would eat well, and he would protect her from any threat. The mouse happily agreed, declaring that she loved having a powerful patron. She formally greeted him, introducing herself as Xiaoxi. The system immediately congratulated Junlin on accepting another disciple. As a reward, he received the divine ability of the 5 Wheels of Rebirth, a massive area effect technique capable of destroying everything in its path. Junlin was thrilled with the new power. When the system teased him about his noble nature, he jokingly defended himself, claiming he would never hurt a defenseless animal. Xiaoxi, confused, asked if he was talking to her. Junlin told her to focus, as he was about to pass on a special technique to her. He directed a beam of energy into her head, granting her the path of the Great Tao. Xiaoxi was amazed, feeling as though her mind had been instantly enlightened, and she thanked her teacher for the gift. Junlin told her to finish her soup and meat, as it was fully cooked. Xiaoxi found the meal wonderful, and felt that being his student was true happiness, vowing to repay his kindness. Suddenly, the sky above them began to fracture and collapse. Junlin asked the system what was happening to the secret world. The system explained that the life cycle of the ancient world tree Luo was ending, and it could no longer sustain the secret realm. It warned him to leave immediately. Junlin noted the urgency, but then noticed Xiaoxi was crying. She couldn't explain why, only that she felt an overwhelming sadness. Junlin realized it was because her body was now spiritually connected to the world tree. He told her they had to find the sect leader and escape before the world vanished. He opened a portal and moved instantly to the others. The sect leader was already shouting for his men to retreat safely, worrying about where Junlin had gone. Junlin stepped out of the portal and warned them all that the situation was critical. They had to evacuate the secret world right now. The sect leader was relieved to see Junlin, though he noticed only one of his students was present. Zhao curiously asked who or what Junlin was carrying in his hands. Junlin casually introduced the little mouse as his newest disciple. The leader was taken aback, asking what happened to his previous student. He pointed out that while the last one had a difficult personality, he possessed a divine appearance and incredible talent, whereas this new one appeared to be just a plump rat with no visible cultivation. Junlin brushed off the concern, assuring them that Hong had already exited the secret world and would be waiting for them outside. Once they emerged, the elders were glad to be back, noting that while the secret realm was dangerous, they had secured many rare resources thanks to Junlin. Hong approached his mentor, and Junlin introduced the two students, telling them they should live in peace and harmony from now on. Xiaoxi, the little mouse, looked back at the closing red portal and began to cry, realizing her home was disappearing forever. However, the situation grew dire, as various ancient creatures from the depths of the secret world also crossed over into the real world. A massive monster looked around, complaining that the spiritual energy in this new world was incredibly weak. A giant snake asked if the two-legged creatures were the humans mentioned in ancient records, mocking their weak cultivation. A rhinoceros monster suggested that since they were in a new environment, they should focus on adapting, taking over the land, and redistributing the territories among themselves. The winged clan leader added that they should enslave the humans first. The sect leader's face went pale. He explained that these were ancient relics, creatures from the deepest parts of the secret world whose power far surpassed anything they had faced before. He pointed out that there were hundreds of them at the spirit transformation stage and dozens at the fusion stage. He explained that these diverse races had survived for countless years in the secret realm, and if they united, they could rival the 5 strongest sects in the entire eastern region. Xiao asked if they could negotiate, but the leader said it was impossible. These creatures were essentially barbarians who had just lost their home. They would almost certainly try to take over the wild region for revenge. As the warriors began to panic, Elder Feng stepped forward and told them not to be afraid. He reminded them that they had Junlin on their side, and as long as he was with them, they could handle anything. The warriors' spirits lifted, believing that no enemy was a match for Junlin. Hong also looked at his mentor, wondering if he really could withstand an onslaught from such a massive army. Just then, the system appeared with a new quest. Junlin had to gain the trust of 10,000 of these secret world natives and convince them to join the Zhuantian sect. Junlin was incredulous, asking the system if it was joking. He complained that fighting them was one thing, but persuading them to join was a total headache. He realized the system was telling him that he couldn't just destroy them, he had to subjugate them. The system left the decision to Junlin. Suddenly, the leader of the ancient relics approached, demanding to know if Junlin was indeed that guy everyone considered the strongest. Junlin confirmed it, realizing he was staring down a literal army of monsters. He saw the potential for the Zhuantian sect to house them all, but the monsters were unimpressed. They mocked him, pointing out that even a peak fusion master couldn't stand against hundreds of opponents at once, and they prepared to swarm him. Junlin raised his defenses, feeling the weight of the situation. He knew he could fight, but retreat wasn't an option, and the task of subjugating them seemed nearly impossible. Seeing her teacher looking puzzled and pressured, Xiaoxi, the little mouse, recalled how kind he had been, feeding her and teaching her techniques. She couldn't bear to let him stand alone. Hong was confused as she suddenly dashed forward, shouting that she would aid her mentor. Standing before the massive creatures, Xiaoxi's presence underwent a terrifying transformation. Her eyes began to glow with a divine light, and her aura surged. The sect leader watched in awe, noting that Junlin's second disciple was far more than she appeared. The monsters froze in shock, recognizing the aura immediately. It was the ancient Luo tree. They realized the tree had not abandoned them. The entire army of monsters fell to their knees, begging the tree of Luo to guide their people now that their home was gone. Hong watched this, convinced once again that Junlin had planned this entire outcome from the start, that the mouse was a deliberate piece on his chessboard. Junlin, however, realized that the fruit of the world tree was actually a vessel for the tree's reincarnation. By eating it, Xiaoxi had become the host for the tree's will, which was now trying to take over her body. Concerned for her safety, Junlin rushed to her side and shouted into her consciousness, telling her to wake up. Deep in her subconscious, Xiaoxi heard his voice and forced herself awake. When she came to her senses and thanked him, the monsters were indignant. They couldn't believe the great Luo tree would choose a bipedal animal as a teacher. Junlin quickly whispered to Xiaoxi, telling her to follow his lead. She nodded, and addressing the monsters as her children, she told them that the destruction of the secret world was the will of heaven. Junlin added that while their home was destroyed, the Zhuantian sect was ready to be their new refuge. Xiaoxi thanked him, playing the part of the divine guide. When one monster questioned if they really had to submit to humans, Xiaoxi flashed her aura again, asking if they dared to doubt her. Terrified, the monster submitted, and she ordered them all to follow her and Junlin back to the sect. The system immediately congratulated Junlin for completing the quest, rewarding him with a sundial. Junlin was slightly disappointed, since he had the golden arm that granted him strength without training. A time-manipulating training tool was useless to him. However, he realized it would be be perfect for Hong, who was obsessed with getting stronger. Hong caught Junlin looking at him with a strange expression and wondered if his mentor was upset that he hadn't helped with the monsters. Meanwhile, the sect leader was in total shock, asking if he was dreaming. Zhao told the leader that with this massive influx of power, the Shuantian sect would undoubtedly become one of the top 10 strongest sects in the entire eastern region. Elder Feng stood in stunned silence, muttering to himself, is this even possible? While he was relieved the wild region was saved, he felt a sting of irrelevance. It seemed his mountain-moving sect had been completely overshadowed by the rise of Shuantian. Xiaoxi turned to Junlin, beaming with pride, and told him that she had succeeded. The monsters had actually listened to her. Junlin praised her, though he remained curious about the residual will of the great luo tree. Xiaoxi reassured him that she didn't feel anything strange anymore, since waking up, the presence had vanished. Satisfied, Junlin announced it was time to take their new recruits and return to the Shuantian sect. Meanwhile, a battered and exhausted Chen Xiao finally reached the Heavenly Ascension sect. The servants were horrified, asking what had happened in the wild region to leave their once energetic holy son looking so defeated. The elders rushed out as well, demanding to know where the other 9 elders and their companions were. Chen Xiao's voice was hollow as he delivered the news. They are all dead. The sect went into an uproar. When asked who was responsible, Chen Xiao finally named the culprit, the Shuantian sect and peak master Junlin. News spread like wildfire across the eastern region. In taverns and market squares, people couldn't believe the barbarians of the wild region had killed 9 high-ranking elders and nearly ended the Holy Sun. Some argued that the world was changing, while others insisted that the Heavenly Ascension sect's ancient heritage of producing immortals meant the barbarians would soon face a reckoning they couldn't survive. In the Buddhist capital, the senior monks held a grim council. They noted that the Heavenly Ascension sect had officially declared war on the Shuantian sect, and the Buddhist temple resolved to join the fight to avenge their own blood. They began gathering forces to purge the demons. Back in the wild region, the collapse of the secret world had released a massive wave of concentrated spiritual energy. This poor, impoverished region was suddenly entering a golden age of prosperity as creatures and cultivators alike used the surge to strengthen their powers. With 10,000 new monster cultivators added to their ranks, the Shuantian sect was stronger than ever, but the looming shadow of a two-front war weighed heavily on everyone's minds. On the training grounds, the disciples whispered among themselves. They were nervous about the upcoming attack from the Heavenly Ascension sect and the Buddhists, but they took comfort in the fact that Junlin had been in deep meditation for days. They saw his constant cultivation as a blessing for the sect's safety. In reality, at the peak of emptiness, Junlin was lounging in the sun, completely unbothered by worldly affairs. Xiaoxi came running up to him, excitedly announcing she had finished preparing a new drink. Junlin, surprised by her speed, told her to bring it over. After taking a sip, his eyes lit up. It tasted exactly like the modern drinks from his past life. He praised her work and generously told her she could make 50 more cups, allowing her to keep just one for herself as a reward. Junlin chuckled, realizing these recipe rewards from his daily tasks were far superior to anything in this world. Even an ice king would be impressed by his culinary masterpieces. Hong watched from a distance, shaking his head in disbelief. He couldn't understand how his mentor could be so foolishly focused on making money from strange drinks, while the entire eastern region was preparing for war. Junlin turned to Hong with a critical look, asking, "Where is my fried squid? Why isn't it ready yet? Look at Xiaoxi and how hard she works for me. You're even less helpful than a mouse." Hong gritted his teeth but replied that everything was nearly done. He served the food, asking if it was to the teacher's liking or if he needed to add anything. Junlin took a bite and casually told him to keep up the good work. Taking a chance, Hong asked for permission to train using the sundial. He explained that he wanted to grow stronger to ensure the sect's safety. Junlin sighed, noting Hong's usual impatience. He told Hong not to worry because the sect was perfectly safe as long as he was there. Hong secretly thought Junlin was just afraid of being surpassed. However, Xiaoxi chimed in, telling Junlin that if the elder brother wanted to train so badly, he should be allowed to go, and she would take over his chores. Junlin stood up and agreed, telling Hong to thank his sister for her insistence. Hong knelt and thanked them both, but internally he vowed that the day he emerged from his time-dilated training would be the day Junlin finally bowed to him. Junlin saw the look on Hong's face and knew exactly what he was thinking. He found it pitiful. He only grew stronger when faced with a worthy opponent, so Hong's rivalry only served to fuel Junlin's own progression. Xiaoxi then presented 50 new cups of her specially prepared tea. Junlin told her she could pick any cup for herself as a reward. As she happily drank, Junlin began petting her, remarking that while other people pet cats, he preferred his mouse. He noted that her fur felt wonderful. At the mention of a cat, Xiaoxi began to tremble in terror. Junlin laughed, pointing out that she had the ancient Luo body and 10,000 monster warriors under her protection. Yet she was still afraid of a creature smaller than her. Junlin asked why she didn't want to use the sundial to train, where 100 years inside felt like only one day outside. He told her it would greatly strengthen her Luo body. Xiaoxi whined, saying she didn't want to be away from her teacher for a century, and besides, training was boring compared to eating tasty food with him. Junlin laughed, realizing they were kindred spirits. He then remembered that demons who reach the spirit transformation stage can take human form. He asked why he had never seen her transform. Xiaoxi admitted she had simply forgotten how, but at Junlin's suggestion, she tried it right then and there. Suddenly, she transformed into a mouse girl. Junlin's eyes widened in shock. He quickly closed his eyes and turned away, shouting, "What the hell? This is too scary! Are you making fun of me?" Xiaoxi felt offended, insisting she had tried her best but could only manage that specific appearance for now. Junlin told her to change back immediately. However, after a few moments, Xiaoxi admitted she had forgotten how to turn back into a mouse. Junlin groaned, asking if she was a mouse or a pig. Xiaoxi begged him not to be angry and promised she would figure it out soon. She asked if he wanted to keep petting her in this form, but Junlin flatly refused, saying he just wanted some peace and quiet. Xiaoxi ran to a pool of water to look at her reflection, thinking to herself that she actually looked quite cute. Meanwhile, at the border between the wild region and the spiritual region, a massive fleet of ships from the Heavenly Ascension sect was approaching. One of the passengers remarked that the wrath of the #1 sect in the eastern region was something no one could survive. They were certain the Xuantian sect was doomed, and that Junlin was likely silent with fear. Suddenly, a panicked servant rushed to the young master on the lead ship, reporting that the battle had already begun, and there was fighting occurring outside. The young gentleman was furious at the vague report, threatening to break the servant's neck and throw him into a cesspool unless he explained exactly who was fighting whom. The servant stammered the news. The Heavenly Ascension sect had launched a full-scale invasion of the wild region. The young master emerged from his quarters, a cruel smile on his face. He was overjoyed that the savages who dared to oppose him would finally face their numbered days. He anticipated a massacre that would put the wild region in its place. At the mountain-moving sect, the atmosphere was thick with dread. A massive army was closing in. The elders pleaded with Chief Feng, begging him not to try and be a hero this time. They urged him to run if things grew dire, reminding him that he was the symbol of faith for all local cultivators, and his death would be an irreparable loss for the region. Back at the Xuantian sect, the alarm was raised. The disciples scrambled as the cry went out, "The enemy is at the gate!" In the training area, Zhao emerged from his long seclusion. Despite 500 years of objective time within the sundial, he felt he was still just short of achieving the fusion stage, realizing that isolation alone wasn't enough for a breakthrough. Su reminded him that without the pills and techniques provided by Junlin, he wouldn't have advanced a single step even in 1,000 years. Just then, the sect leader emerged, having successfully broken through to the fusion stage just before the battle. Suddenly, a terrifying shadow appeared within a pillar of fire. The leader gasped, sensing an aura that felt even more powerful than Junlin's. From the flames stepped Hong. Xiao, unaware of Hong's internal change, praised him as a worthy disciple of a great teacher, amazed by his monstrous growth. But Hong snapped, his eyes flashing with demonic arrogance. He didn't just speak, he attacked. When Su tried to intervene, reminding him they were of the same sect, Hong erupted into a chilling laughter. He declared himself the greatest master of the demonic path and a true immortal, mocking them as pathetic ants. He stated that if it weren't for Junlin, he wouldn't have wasted a second in such a place, but that everything had changed now. Su, thinking he had gone mad from training, threatened to complain to Junlin. Hong laughed at the threat. He claimed that, with his current strength, it was a question of who would tame whom. He demanded they hand over the sect's treasures to him rather than wasting them. When Xiao warned him of Junlin's punishment, Hong unleashed a wave of fire that forced them all back. The sect leader was horrified. Even at the fusion stage, he could barely withstand the pressure Hong was radiating. Hong looked at the approaching Heavenly Ascension army as a crowd of insignificant insects. However, he paused, confused as to why the sundial, which he intended to seize, hadn't moved an inch from Junlin's control despite his power. The leader pleaded with Hong, asking why the greatest genius of the sect would stoop to such villainy. Hong, enraged by the lecture, struck the leader with a light blow that sent him reeling, unable to resist. Hong sneered that letting them live was already a great mercy. Just then, the voice of the Heavenly Ascension army boomed over the hills, demanding that Junlin come out and accept his death. Hong flew toward them, eager to test his power, while the Xuantian elders tried desperately to stop him. Meanwhile, at the peak of emptiness, Junlin was calmly sipping milk tea, remarking that this was what made life worth living. Hong, watching from a distance as he flew toward the enemy, was disgusted. He viewed Junlin as a slovenly slob who had simply stumbled upon high blessings and rare resources by luck. Hong vowed that today, all those priceless resources and techniques would finally belong to him. Junlin beamed as he saw Hong emerge, exclaiming how much he had missed his favorite disciple. Hong, however, wasn't in the mood for pleasantries. He pointed toward the chaos outside, mocking Junlin for resting peacefully, while the Heavenly Ascension sect was literally at the gate. Junlin, still holding his tea, seemed genuinely confused, asking if the attack had already started. Hong sneered, realizing Junlin had been hiding behind his soundproof spiritual barrier. He told his mentor to listen to the screams of the enemies calling calling for his death. When Junlin finally acknowledged the war had begun, Hong made his move. He offered to save Junlin's life, but only if the mentor handed over every treasure and technique he possessed. Junlin acted shocked, asking what Hong was talking about, but Hong told him to stop playing the fool. It was time to a frank conversation. Suddenly, Xiaoxi came running up, carrying a plate of spicy chicken wings she had cooked for Junlin. When she saw Hong, she greeted him warmly, asking if he had finished his seclusion so quickly. Hong recoiled in fear at her appearance. In her mouse girl form, she looked terrifying to him. He wondered what kind of twisted tastes his mentor had to keep such a creature around, thinking the situation was beyond the bounds of common sense. The sect leader and Su arrived at the peak, shouting warnings to Junlin about Hong's betrayal. However, when they saw the girl with the mouse head, they froze in shock. Xiaoxi tried to reassure them, but the leader took a closer look and marveled at Junlin's exquisite and dreamlike taste in disciples. Junlin snapped at them to stop talking nonsense and asked why everyone was so tense. The leader explained that Hong had tried to seize the sundial and attacked his own sect members. Junlin turned to Hong, asking if it was true. Hong didn't deny it, telling Junlin that his death was inevitable anyway, and he clearly didn't understand the danger he was in. The leader cursed Hong as a traitor, but Hong countered that they had treated him like a servant for far too long. In a dramatic turn, Junlin covered his face and began to lament, claiming it was all his fault for disregarding his students' feelings. He put on a show of crocodile remorse, asking if Hong could ever forgive him so they could start over as teacher and student. Hong was disgusted, telling Junlin his acting was pathetic. Secretly, the system notified Junlin that he had successfully completed a temporary task, sincere admission of mistake with maximum emotion. For his performance, he received the immortal ruler's technique. Junlin was delighted. The remorse had been a total sham to earn the reward. Xiaoxi, seeing Junlin's depression, decided she needed to drink more milk tea to boost her spiritual power so she could eventually transform into a more appealing human form for her teacher. Meanwhile, Junlin decided to keep teasing Hong. He sat back and asked Xiaoxi to massage his shoulders, which she happily did. The sect leader was confused, wondering if Junlin had developed a split personality from the stress, but Su told him to be quiet. Junlin then turned to Hong and noted that after 200 years in sundial time of seclusion, Hong clearly felt all-powerful. Hong told him to shut up and decide, hand over the treasures and get help, or rot and die. Xiao, misinterpreting Hong's offer of help as a sign of lingering conscience, suggested they might still turn the tide if Junlin agreed, but Junlin just sipped his lemonade and asked Hong if he was really sure he was stronger than his mentor now. Hong boasted that he had surpassed Junlin in every way during his 200 years of training. Just as the Heavenly Ascension fleet reached the soaring peak, an attack was launched from the sky toward Hong. Enraged by the interference, Hong reflected the attack with a single wave of his hand. The reflected beam was so fast it obliterated the very ship that fired it. The surviving soldiers screamed in confusion, demanding to know who did it. Hong was furious that these annoying flies were interrupting his confrontation with Junlin. He decided to deal with the invaders first, knowing Junlin's resources would eventually be his anyway. He flew out to meet the fleet, standing tall and asking what they planned to do now that he had arrived. And with that, this video ends. Like and subscribe for the next part.